Rastafari. Ethiopianism was a religious and political movement practiced by sub-Saharan Africans during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, representing early efforts toward autonomy from colonial rule. It emerged as African Christians sought to establish independent churches, free from European missionary control, to affirm their cultural identity and resist racial discrimination. The movement drew inspiration from biblical references to Ethiopia, particularly in Psalm 68 verse 31. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God. This verse symbolized a vision of African unity and self-governance, fostering a sense of pride and destiny amongst African communities worldwide. Edward Wilmot Blyden, born 1832 past 1912. He was born on St. Thomas, a Caribbean island. His parents claimed descent from the Igbo people of present-day Nigeria. He is associated with Ethiopianism due to his promotion of African pride, cultural preservation, and self-determination. Ethiopianism, which viewed Ethiopia as a symbol for Africa's dignity and resilience based on biblical references, aligned with Blyden's advocacy for Africans to develop their own institutions and celebrate their unique identity. His ideas influenced prominent Pan-African leaders like Marcus Garvey, George Padmore, and Kwame Nkrumah, solidifying his place in history. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, God Emperor of Ethiopia and Rastafari. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia on November 2nd, 1930, at the Cathedral of St. George in Addis Ababa. The coronation was a traditional Hebraic Christian ceremony. His Majesty Haile Selassie I was born Tafari Makonnen. He took the name of Haile Selassie I, which means power of the Trinity. The ceremony included an ivory and gold scepter, a gold globe, a diamond ring, and 2 traditional lances. The ceremony was attended by royals and political leaders and representatives from around the world, including Britain, Belgium, France, United States, Egypt, Turkey, Sweden, and Japan. And he said, "We Africans will fight. If necessary, we will know that we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil." Praise God. Ancient African monarch meets recent British royals. The tradition is, and protocol requires, that the British royals will bow. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie's family lineage is believed to extend across several centuries, tracing its roots to the Solomonic dynasty, from the union of King Solomon of Israel and the Queen of Sheba. This lineage is central to the Ethiopian history and Rastafarian beliefs. The Solomonic dynasty's origins are traditionally dated to around 970 before the Christian era, with Menelik I, the son of Solomon, and the Queen of Sheba, regarded as its founder. The dynasty intermittently ruled Ethiopia for nearly 3,000 years from its inception. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie confirms direct descent from this lineage, asserting continuity with the Solomonic traditions. His family history spans nearly 30 centuries, approximately 3,000 years. Marcus Garvey was born on August 17, 1887 in St. Anne's Bay, a town located in the north coast of Jamaica. Garvey founded the UNIA in 1914 in Jamaica, which became the largest global organization promoting Pan-African ideals. The UNIA aimed to unite African worldwide and advocated for economic independence, self-determination, and the establishment of a unified Africa. In 1919, Garvey launched the Black Star Line, a shipping company designed to facilitate trade and transportation between Africa and the African diaspora. Although the company faced financial and operational challenges, it symbolized Garvey's commitment to Africa's economic empowerment. Garvey used biblical references to Ethiopia and Africa as symbols of resilience and redemption for black peoples. His emphasis on Ethiopia resonated with Ethiopianisms and reinforced the vision of a free and united Africa. Garvey organized international UNIA conventions, such as the 1920 convention in New York, where the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World was adopted. The document outlined the aspiration and racial equality and self-determination that African independence represented. Marcus Garvey was born on August 17, 1887 in St. Anne's Bay, a town located in north coast of Jamaica. Garvey founded the UNIA in 1914 in Jamaica, which became the largest global organization promoting Pan-African ideals. The UNIA aimed to unite African worldwide and advocated for economic independence, self-determination, and the establishment of a unified Africa. In 1919, Garvey launched the Black Star Line, a shipping company designed to facilitate trade and transportation between Africa and the African diaspora. Although the company faced financial and operational challenges, it symbolized Garvey's commitment to Africa's economic empowerment. Garvey used biblical references to Ethiopia and Africa as symbols of resilience and redemption for black peoples. His emphasis on Ethiopia resonated with Ethiopianisms and reinforced the vision of a free and united Africa. Garvey organized international UNIA conventions, such as the 1920 convention in New York, where the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World was adopted. The document outlined the aspiration and racial equality and self-determination that African independence represented. Leonard Percival Howe was born in the parish of Clarendon in Jamaica on June the 16th, 1898. He died in Kingston, Jamaica in 1981. He was born a hero, a scholar, and beyond the shadow of doubt, died a hero, defending his community. His notable achievements include the first Rasta. Howe is considered a pioneer figure in the Rastafari movement. After returning to Jamaica in 1932, he began preaching about the divinity of Emperor Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia, identifying him as the Messiah. In 1935, Howe published The Promise Key, a seminal document outlining the movement's principles. He also established in Jamaica the Pinnacle Community, which became a central hub for Rastafari at that time. The word Rastafari has both a literal and symbolic meaning, deeply rooted in Ethiopian and Rastafarian history. A literal meaning, Ras, a title in Aramaic, Ethiopian language, meaning chief, prince, or head. Tafari, the pre-regnal name of Haile Selassie I, who was born of Tafari Makonnen. Rastafari literally translates to Prince Tafari or Chief Tafari in Aramaic. This name was used before His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie ascended to the Ethiopian throne in 1930. And he took his original name, which means power of the Trinity. The Rastafari movement comprised several mansions or branches, each with its own unique symbols and practices. The three primary mansions are the Nyabingi Order, the Bobo Shanti, and the 12 tribes of Israel. Rastafarian liberty, the central principle of Rasta life. Perhaps no Rastafarian idea is more important to the lives of ordinary Rastas than liberty. This term, created by the earliest Rastas, encompasses the central cultural practices of Rastafari. Rastas view their culture as more than merely a religious identity. It is a way of life. Liberty is central to Rastas' communal and personal beliefs. Rastafarian liberty, the central principles of Rasta life. A committed Rasta strives to maintain and strengthen their liberty through ritual practices and self-reflection, including certain types of music, meditation, and ganja smoking. Liberty also involves following a diet similar to kosher in Judaism, but there are significant differences. Rastas don't eat pork, and most do not eat meat. A vegetarian or vegan diet known as Ital to Rastas is the standard. Rastas prefer to cultivate their food naturally, locally, without added preservatives. Similarly, alcohol, coffee, and drugs other than ganja are culturally forbidden practices of Rastafari. Rastas view their culture as more than merely a religious identity. It is a way of life. Liberty is central to Rastas' communal and personal beliefs. Nyabingi Mansion. The Nyabingi Order is considered one of the oldest branches of Rastafari. The Nyabingi Order is named after Queen Nyabingi, who ruled Uganda in the 19th century. Its symbols include the Lion of Judah, representing strength and the lineage of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, and the colours red, gold and green, reflecting the Ethiopian flag and Pan-Africanism. Nyabingi theology centred on the divinity of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I. Its followers regard him as the manifestation of God, Jah, on earth, and the fulfilment of biblical prophecy. Such titles as the King of Kings and the Lion of the tribe of Judah emphasize its divine role, derived from scriptures like Revelation chapter 5, verse 5, and chapter 19, verse 16. They also reject Babylon, representing oppressive systems like colonialism, materialism, and capitalism, and call for a spiritual resistance. A strong emphasis is placed on Pan-Africanism and the belief that Africa is Zion, the spiritual and physical homeland for the African diaspora, advocating for the restoration of African dignity, heritage, and self-reliance. Spiritual practices such as the reasoning session, where members discuss spiritual and social issues, and Nyabingi drumming and chanting ceremonies are central to the theology. These sacred rituals aim to invoke divine presence and resist oppression. The Nyabingi lifestyle or liberty promotes living in harmony with nature, maintaining a vegetarian or Ital diet, avoiding materialism. With its roots in African resistance movements, Nyabingi theology views prayer, drumming, and unity as powerful tools against injustice, encouraging collaboration amongst Rastafarians and African peoples worldwide. Its scriptural foundation draws heavily from the Bible, emphasizing the closeness of the black race as descendants of Israel. 12 Tribe of Israel mansions. The 12 Tribes of Israel is one of the prominent mansions of Rastafari. Was founded by Prophet Gad in 1968 in Kingston, Jamaica. Carrington envisaged the 12 Tribe as a way to organize the Rasta faith and make it more accessible to a broader audience. He emphasized studying the Bible, particularly the King James Version, and encouraged members to read it from Genesis to Revelation for spiritual understanding. 12 Tribes of Israel Mansion. The movement is organized around the 12 sons of Jacob from the Bible, with members assigned to a tribe based on their birth month. Unlike other Rastafari mansions, the 12 tribes are known for being more inclusive, welcoming people of all races and backgrounds. They stress the divinity of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, as well as the teachings of Jesus Christ, blending Rastafari and Christian principles. The Bob Ashanti Mansion is one of the prominent mansions of Rastafari. Was founded by Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards in 1958 in Jamaica. He is often referred to as Prince Emmanuel, the Black Christ in flesh, or Priest King Emmanuel by his followers. Prince Emmanuel is regarded by the Bob Ashanti as part of the Holy Trinity, alongside His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I and Marcus Garvey. He is seen as a prophet and the reincarnation of Christ in flesh. He established the Bob Ashanti as a spiritual and political movement, emphasizing self-reliance, African redemption, and moral living. Key beliefs and practices of the Bob Ashanti Mansion. The Bob Ashanti uphold strict discipline and adhere to a priestly lifestyle. They often wear turbans and long robes to signify holiness and separation from Babylon. They emphasize daily prayer, fasting, and living according to the commandments of Jah, or God. Their community operates like a theocracy, with Emmanuel seen as their spiritual leader, and they stress the importance of repatriation to Africa. The Bob Ashanti Mansion remains influential within Rastafari for its unique practices, rigid discipline, and devotion to African liberation and spiritual principles. Reggae music. Reggae is a style of popular music originating in Jamaica with a strong accented beat. Reggae evolved in the late 1960s from ska and other local variations on calypso and rhythms and blues, and became widely known in the 1970s through the work of Bob Marley. Its lyrics are heavily influenced by Rastafari ideas. The Rastafari movement profoundly influenced reggae music, shaping its themes, aesthetics, and cultural significance. Reggae became a powerful vehicle for expressing Rastafari ideals and spreading its message globally. Reggae music. Reggae lyrics frequently reflect Rastafari beliefs, addressing topics such as spirituality, oppression, and liberation. The concept of resisting Babylon, symbolizing colonialism and systematic oppression, is a recurring motif. The music emphasizes African identity, repatriation, and the glorification of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie as a divine ruler. For example, Bob Marley, Jah Live, and War explicitly convey Rastafari teachings. Reggae music. Reggae popularized Rastafari symbols like the Lion of Judah, red, gold, and green colors, and the use of dreadlocks as a spiritual expression of rebellion and devotion. The influence of Ital living, a Rastafari principle promoting natural and pure lifestyle, also finds reflection in the culture surrounding reggae music. Reggae music. The drumming patterns of Rastafari's Naibingi order directly influence the percussive elements in reggae, creating its characteristic rhythm and beat. The connection between drumming, chanting, and spirituality in Rastafari found its way into reggae as a means of both artistic expression and spiritual practice. To contact the 12 Tribes of Israel headquarters in Britain, it's 10 Kemshot Road, Streatham, London, SW165LQ, or indeed in Manchester, and that is 32 Claremont Road, Manchester, M14 4TS. Telephone number, it's 07 821 028 421. Praise Jah, Rastafari. Praise Jah, Rastafari. Praise Jah, Rastafari. Yes. Praise Jah, Rastafari. Oh, indeed, indeed. A cultural-centric music format. A truly inspired music format, and one that has inspired and motivated millions and millions of Africans and others around the world. Praise Jah, Rastafari. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It is a great pleasure for today's transmission, because this is the motivator. This is where we translate our words into action, and where success is ours for the taking. And where success is ours for the taking, yeah? We're defying that negative mentality that many wish to promote. We are uplifting, empowering, we're moving forward. Those personalities that was mentioned in the intro videos are, of course, the catalysts for change. Every one of those names are catalysts for change. And change was always going to happen. Be assured. Praise Jah. I am so thrilled today because we're tackling a subject that is close to my heart, yeah? Part of my cultural heritage, if you like, okay? The origins and the inspiration from Rastafari. Later on the show, in around, will we say 40 minutes, we'll have some special guests. We're going to discuss this awesome, powerful religious format that has so impacted so many millions of lives, right across the Caribbean, the motherland of Africa, and the Americas and Europe, of course. Okay. Powerful, powerful. You're all going to find out much more about it. But without further ado, let's focus on what's happening right now. I want to acknowledge and give a big thumbs up to my guest in the last transmission, to the African Continental Unity Party, a truly Pan-African party, one that seeks for unity amongst the countries across the motherland of Africa, and indeed the Caribbean. Yeah, it's a lofty aim, it's a lofty aspiration, but it is achievable. And where there's a will, there's a way. Overcoming petty ethnic differences is a skill we have long experienced in, and we're hard at work, yeah? So no matter where you are on the continent or the Caribbean, unity is within your grasp, our grasp, if you like, our grasp. Be assured. Oh yeah. So I want to thank our guests from that party. They were a truly excellent example of the energy and the intellect, the determination and the forthrightness of young people, from my perspective, our children, and their aspirations for their children. And therefore, they have to be a part of that change. You have to be a part of that change. I know it's terrifying. I know it's unnerving. I get it. I get it. I get it. But hold the hand of someone else, yeah? And you will then share the energy, the confidence, and together you will make the difference. Praise Jah. Yes, yes, together you will make the difference. Oh, I'm feeling so good this morning. I'm feeling so good. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So well done to them all. Well done. There you are. Well done. There's you've got my hand and a digital hand from going up now. There you are. Well done to them. And long may you stay strong and prosper. Well done. Well done. And we're going to get them back again because there's much more we need to delve into with them because there's much more. Because success is ours for the taking. Yep, another strap line for you. Yep, success is ours for the taking. Yep, translate words into action. Yeah, you will make the difference. Okay, okay. All right, okay, let me go right into this because as you know, we're going to have run out of time, but it's good, it's good. It is good. So without any further ado, I also want to give acknowledgement to other past contributors to the Motivator Show. Some wonderful guests in the few Saturdays, he says, that we've had in this year. Truly inspired individuals. And every one of them, I want to thank you for your contribution to the march forward. Okay, you know you are to the march forward. Okay. But before I go to the main part of this show, which will be in approximately 30 minutes time, okay, I want to do some quick announcements and remember the all-important lifestyle messages, which I've got it under good authority has transformed and saved lives. So it's more than justified that a few minutes is spent in each of our podcasts to lifestyle messages, these public health messages that have to be reverberated throughout the communities out there, okay, to think about your health. Okay, think about your health. But before I do that, I want to just give a few quick announcements. And the first announcement, and you know, those of you who are in Britain right now will recall that last night we had a tremendous storm. You know, we've had a tremendous storm over the past 24 hours or so. The buildings that have been wrecked, and most certainly businesses have been disrupted. There is no doubt. Yeah, we had an unusual red alert here in Britain. Okay. But that particular storm paled into significance what happened in the Caribbean at the beginning of the hurricane season. Some of you will recall Hurricane Beryl. It devastated parts of Grenada and, of course, Jamaica. Okay? And in response to that devastation, okay, we've been highlighting the fact that there are, particularly here in Britain, but across Europe, people have come together in common aim and common purpose to help those whose lives still today have been devastated by Hurricane Beryl. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Okay. So if the family, in other words, the human family gathers around, pools their resources, we can help those in greatest need. And I want to remind you, Beryl has devastated lives. We need to help those in greatest need. And in doing so, we'll uphold the highest tenets of what it is to be a human being. Okay, I'll put it on the screen. There we go. So I ask you to consider the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl, and can you make a small contribution? Okay. The parts of particularly Jamaica that were devastated is the parishes of St. Elizabeth's and Manchester. Okay. Now, what they need, of course, is help with perishable food, bed kits with sheets and pillows, children and adults' diapers, tarpaulin, zinc, and other building materials. These are all essential to get these people back on their feet and so they can rebuild their lives. Okay, so organisation here in the UK is PNP UK, that is it's ensuring that this particular initiative goes forward. Their website address, just for the reference, is www.pnpuk.com. So you can see the details there. And the email address if you wish to contact them directly is, of course, disasterrelief@pnpuk.com. That's the email address if you wish to send messages to them. And they're coordinating, supporting those who are affected by Hurricane Beryl. And of course, you can send money via their bank account, PNP UK. It's NatWest Bank, sort code 600802, account number 298612333. And in the reference, bank reference, please put in DRF Beryl, Disaster Relief Beryl. Okay. And we thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your contribution. Many have, and we will, in the month of February, do a highlight of what has been achieved to date. But we want to thank you all for all of you who have contributed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the second quick announcement I want to give, that is, of course, very much here in the UK, but most certainly affect those across the Commonwealth, so-called. That is the injustice, the scandal. That is, of course, the Windrush scandal. Okay. As you know, we've held a series of features on this scandal. We want to thank Anthony Brown, the lead proponent of the Windrush Act. He's had many meetings now with ministers and indeed Secretary of States now, and we'll continue to give support to him and others who are involved in ensuring the Windrush Act is put in place. And of course, also want to recognize the Windrush National Organization. Okay, I would also recognize a number of people there who continue to promote the Windrush National Organization and ensuring that the so-called compensation scheme, which we featured on this podcast, is adequate, fit for purpose, and delivers on its mandate. Okay, we understand that a Windrush commissioner of sort is being put in place. In fact, we might get the Windrush National Organization here in the studios to give an update on progress to and their liaisons with the Home Office. Okay. It is important, nevertheless, that we continue to support those affected by the Windrush scandal. Even if you're not affected by it, support those who are, because we are still family. So I want to give light, of course, to another group of lawyers who are here, who lead the Windrush Legal Advice Clinic. And they're based at 58 Bank Street in the West Midlands in Britain, and postcode WV148PD, and their email address is info@windrushlegaladviceclinic.com, as it sounds. windrushlegaladviceclinic.com, and their telephone number 95 is 01902 382 542. If you're overseas, you remove the 1, is +44, then you start with 1. Okay. We commend the Windrush Legal Advice Clinic to you, and we thank all of those people involved in addressing the Windrush scandal. I'm confident that the current new government, that's already been in power only for a few months, will make a difference. Obviously, the backdrop has changed tremendously. There's real discussion underway, real preparation to resolve the issues of those affected by the Windrush scandal. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Now I've given those two announcements, and I will come on to others later on. But without further ado, I do want to now give a note to the lifestyle messages. But before that, I just want to remind you, if you haven't subscribed, okay, please subscribe. What it does, it's free to subscribe, and it ensures that the YouTube algorithm will recommend these podcasts to the millions of people around the world who are YouTube subscribers. It's free. So why not? Why not? But it does ensure these messages are transmitted around the world, because millions of people who are subscribers to YouTube will get to see these transmissions. So please help us. Please help us. If in doubt, ask questions, of course, but please subscribe. And don't leave this transmission without leaving a comment. Just below your screen, you'll see an opportunity to leave a comment if you're a subscriber, mind you, to leave a comment and just share your views on the quality of the content that we're providing today. But now it's time for that part of the show where we now focus on our lifestyle. These are essential messages. Please do not turn off. Please do not close down. It's essential because the levels of diabetes, high blood pressure, overweightness or obesity in the community is off the scale. And much of this is caused by our lifestyle, which is why these lifestyle messages are critical. Please listen keenly. The Motivator Show, the internet's most inspirational podcast. Every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. I choose a healthy lifestyle. I will relax and when possible attend a spa. I will eat healthy food and drink appropriate amount of water each day. I will exercise and maintain fitness. I will not be afraid of doctors and seek out medical examination when I need it. I will promote good mental health because it's important to me. I deserve to be happy. London is United Kingdom's capital city. It is amongst the most cosmopolitan in the world. It possesses all possible extremes, including in wealth, cultural and religious diversities. The main causes of illness and premature death in London, like the rest of the United Kingdom, are coronary heart disease, strokes, cancers and respiratory diseases. Other key health challenges in London include tuberculosis, issues relating to sexual health, including HIV/AIDS, mental health, and drug and alcohol misuse. It is likely that these issues and diabetes and obesity will continue to be priorities over the next 10 years. As London's diverse population increases, there's also likely to be an increase in diseases which are more prevalent in some black and ethnic minority communities, such as high blood pressure and renal diseases. I choose a healthy lifestyle. I will relax and when possible attend a spa. I will eat healthy food and drink appropriate amount of water each day. I will exercise and maintain fitness. I will not be afraid of doctors and seek out medical examination when I need it. I will promote good mental health because it's important to me. I deserve to be happy. London currently has high levels of health inequalities with unacceptable variations in infant mortality and life expectancy across the capital. Tackling these issues is likely to remain a key challenge over the next 10 years. London is United Kingdom's capital city. It is amongst the most cosmopolitan in the world. It possesses all possible extremes, including in wealth, cultural and religious diversities. The causes of health inequalities are similar to those that determine health in general, including, for example, housing conditions, employment opportunities, environmental factors such as pollution, the amount of exercise undertaken, one's diet and smoking, and access to health services. I choose a healthy lifestyle. I will relax and when possible attend a spa. I will eat healthy food and drink appropriate amount of water each day. I will exercise and maintain fitness. I will not be afraid of doctors and seek out medical examination when I need it. I will promote good mental health because it's important to me. I deserve to be happy. Public health priorities. Life expectancy is stalling and health inequalities are widening. After a century of increases, the decades prior to COVID-19 pandemic saw improvement in life expectancy amongst the UK population stall. For some, these improvements went into reverse. Between 2010 and 2012 and 2016 and 2018, life expectancy among women living in the most deprived 10% of areas of England fell, with the largest increases in the North East. The diseases now most prevalent within the communities include diabetes, high blood pressure, heart conditions, cardiovascular diseases, lung disease, cancers, and obesity. London is United Kingdom's capital city. It is amongst the most cosmopolitan in the world. It possesses all possible extremes, including in wealth, cultural and religious diversities. Professor Kevin Fenton, CBE. Kevin Fenton is the president of the Faculty of Public Health. He's also a senior public health expert and infectious disease epidemiologist who has worked in a variety of public health executive leadership roles across government and academia in the United Kingdom and internationally. His specialist interests are in tackling health inequalities, infectious disease prevention and control, climate justice, and urban health. Professor Fenton is the Regional Director for London in the Office for Health Improvement and Disparities within the Department of Health and Social Care. Within this role, he's also the Statutory Public Health Advisor to the Mayor of London and the Greater London Authority and the Regional Director of Public Health for NHS London. He is also the Government Chief Advisor on HIV and Chair of the HIV Action Plan Implementation Steering Group for England. Professor Kevin Fenton says, I'm a public health director. Here are 5 things you can do to improve your health. 1. Mindful and balanced eating. Nourish wisely. Eat whole, balanced meals with awareness to support energy and well-being. 2. Get outside. Be with nature. Time outside reduces stress, improves mood, and strengthens your connection to the world. 3. Stay curious, stay engaged, explore new interests, keep your mind sharp, build social contacts, and boost your happiness. 4. Get active, move it or lose it. Move daily, lift weight, and do cardio. Exercise, improve physical, mental, mood, and energy. 5. Prioritize rest and sleep. Disconnect. Rest. Quality sleep supports mental clarity, emotional balance, and overall health. I choose a healthy lifestyle. I will relax. When possible, attend a spa. I will eat healthy food and drink appropriate amount of water each day. I will exercise and maintain fitness. I will not be afraid of doctors and seek out medical examination when I need it. I will promote good mental health because it's important to me. I deserve to be happy. Traditional medicine has existed in Africa and China for thousands of years. Traditional African medicine is a range of traditional disciplines involving indigenous herbalism and African spirituality, typically including diviners, midwives, and herbalists. African herbal medicine is a traditional practice that uses plants to treat a variety of ailments. Some examples of African herbal medicine include African potatoes. All right, I've just slightly cut it short. It is well. Key messages have now been received. But what I wanted to do at this point is to give light to many of you who have responded to these key lifestyle messages, understanding how critical they are to your general happiness, your general health, and indeed well-being. Okay, I want to give light to a group of people who've come together in common aim and common purpose, recognizing that you are in the driving seat, you are very much in the driving seat. And working together, you can transform your lives. And I'm going to bring it, Emma, I can bring it up now. I want to play a video shared with me, the motivator, with a group of Africans who've come together in common aim and common purpose, recognizing if we exercise together, pool your resources and exercise together, you can make a real difference to your lives. Here we are. This group call themselves the Countdown Fitness. That's what they call themselves now. They come from different parts of the continent, from South Africa to Nigeria, from Sierra Leone to Kenya, from Jamaica to Britain. Oh yeah. Oh, truly fantastic people. Watch this, watch this.
Cheese. Famous. Hello, 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 hello. Awe. 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 You get one life only. Me self get one life only. Why we no go use am gladdy and enjoy the time. Palava no dey finish, time me no dey wait nobody. Now why I dey try for always get am nice every day and night. This one way we all fend we safe, now nobody own. You want to eat with too much, we go down you belly, now you young. And the balance where you go die left, now all the money on. So why for the greedy you say for? The motor car where you let buy 'em. If you see finance where you collect bill 'em, oh. You meet up woman where you let yarn 'em. And if you let the man na for keep 'em, want 'em, oh. The food where you feel for eat na for eat 'em. That fine la power where you let na for buy 'em and tie 'em, oh. And if you baby love you back love 'em. But if you love them all, now you not for left them. Want them more, cause nobody know.
Wow, look at that, huh?
So every day of my life, till old, I fasting enjoyment, stay go. Now for land, for care for yourself. Nobody love you, pass you yourself.
Look at that. All come together in common aim and common purpose. Random people recognizing you work together, you can transform your lives.
No make nobody take your peace away. Me joy away. Me smile away.
And the children are there too. The children are there.
Every day. I see they also work for the pay. They like na boku on a small irrigate. Land for the loose body 110. Not to money, not to gentry.
Wonderful,
no money,
wonderful.
As long as you get waiting, you they eat. Land for the loose body.
Wow, look at that.
This one way we all fend we safe, now nobody own. You want to eat
That's
with
what
you
happens
much, we
when
go
you
down
pull
you
your
belly,
resources.
now you young. And the balance where you go die left, now all the money on. So why for the pity you say for? Now the motor car where you let buy 'em.
From Nigeria to South Africa, from Sierra Leone to Ghana, from Ghana to Britain, from Britain to Jamaica, from Jamaica to Trinidad, Grenada, oh yes, and United States of America, I understand. Look at that, from Ethiopia, Burkina Faso as well. Come together, common aim and common purpose.
One time more, cause nobody know. Nobody know what
exercising together.
So every day of my life,
Exercising together.
Fasting, enjoyment, stay go. Now for land, for care for yourself. Nobody love you, pass your own self. All man, they fed for himself. Oh. Now why I know they allowed with the other man, they can't take me peace away.
Your health is your highest wealth. And I say it again, your health is your highest wealth.
Oh no no.
Notice some big people there, but they're exercising. Yep, they're exercising, eating well, positive attitude. They're transforming their lives. Absolutely transforming their lives. Absolutely transforming their lives. Oh, I get so excited when I see them. Oh, I've got to take I don't have my hat on. I would take my hat off to them if I had a hat on. Oh yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Ishmael. There's a young man up the front there, exercising, showing everyone. Big shout out to Cardi. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, to Martha. Yes. Oh my gosh, Michelle, yes, keep exercising. Oh yeah. You get excited, huh? You get excited. They're taking control of their health and well-being. Okay, they're not afraid to go to doctors. They're not afraid to be assessed so they can understand what they need to do in order to maintain a healthy life and therefore have less problems as you get older. That's the whole purpose of these transmissions. These are empowerment messages, yeah? It gives you license. It gives you license to take control, to assert your control so you can maintain a healthy lifestyle. Well done. Long may it continue that way. Long may it continue, okay? And if you're not in an exercise group, great one. Yep, great one. If you can't find one, create one. Just ask your friends or your neighbors, do you want to join an exercise group? It's a lot easier to exercise together than doing it by yourself. I'm only saying, you know? Okay, yep. There's a old saying that says, if you want to go fast, you do it alone. But if you want to go far, you do it together. Yes. Affirmation. Praise Jah. He says, Rastafari. He says, affirmation. Positive affirmation. Okay. And I see you, Wilton. I see your note. Don't worry. I see the messages coming up. Long may those messages keep coming in. And say again, if you are subscribed with YouTube and indeed Facebook, most certainly YouTube, the messenger is on continuously. It's on continuously. And therefore, we will see your messages. Okay. We will see your messages. Okay. Now, what I want to do is prepare the way for the interview. Because there's much we need to discover about this. It's, I'm about to say way of life, but there's a strong theological basis for Rastafari. Okay, and we are going to get to that, but I want to prepare the way. Some of you watch the intro video, okay? And that intro video sets the scene. It is jam-packed full of useful information. Information, it's essential. It's shared with children. So it becomes a part of their consciousness. The information becomes a part of their consciousness from which they will draw strength from when they experience periods of stress, whether it be physical or mental stress. The information shared is truly empowering. It is truly empowering. And with such empowering information, yeah, what it does, you see, this description that a tree with deep root can withstand great storms is actually very true. a person with knowledge about themselves is better able to navigate the intricacies of human civilization. Let me put it that way to you. The intricacies of human civilization. Yeah. And be in no doubt that you have the power to effect change not only for your own life and indeed your family's life, but the entire community's life. That's why working together is a central component. You cannot hold grudges or hold malice against others who are just members of your own family, you know? You've got to find those points of common interest which transcend, therefore, the malice, the division that others will want to sow in your mind. Mm-hmm. It is true, and quite profound, quite profound. Be assured, though, that the interview that's coming up momentarily will be one that you will find truly encouraging. Okay? The intro video alluded to what will come, but what it will say to you, you are not a victim. Mm-hmm. Very important words. You are not a victim. You are not oppressed. Others want to do so, that's true, but you are not oppressed. It is very much a mindset. Mm-hmm. There's a video I watched on another social platform. Okay. And it was a video about a pet, a family pet. And they put a strip around the pets, around the borders, and told the pet, you cannot leave that cage. All it was a bit of tape on the floor, but the pet looked down, saw the tape, and assumed that it was caged. It was a complete mirage. And that pet stayed behind the tape for hours. In fact, if I could find it, I might even play it. Much of what I see, particularly in our communities, is that psychological phenomenon. Mm-hmm. That's what I see. It's a mirage, you being caged. It is not real. It is very much a mindset that's been perpetrated by others to promote in your mind that you are caged and you're powerless and therefore have to accept what others give to you. Nothing could be further from the truth. And we're going to prove it to you today. Watch this space. We're going to prove it to you today. You're going to see some transformative actions, you know. You're going to see some transformative actions. And what I want to do, if I just put up on the screen, I want to applaud you all. Before I bring in my guest, I want to applaud you all. Just watch this space. Yeah, you see it now. You understand? I want to applaud you all for your strength and your courage. I want to applaud you all. I want to recognize your strength and your courage. I want to applaud you. Yes, you see all the light, all the wonderful light around you. I want to applaud you, empower you. You have the power to effect change in your lives. You are the change makers. Yes, I want to applaud you. Yes, affirmation, praise Jah, Rastafari. Affirmation. You are the change makers. Okay. I'm going to start to bring in my guest now. Now we've set the tone. Now we've set the scene. You are the change makers. Praise be. Let's see if I can get this person in first of all. Let's see if the technology works. Because we are live. Here we go. We are live. First of all, okay. First stage. My first of my guests are in the green room. Now, let's see. My other guest is around as yet. Not yet. No, other guest is not here yet. Let me see. Maybe bring this up. Let's see if my other guest is around. Okay, let me bring this one in now. Let's see if my other guest will come in momentarily. I'm preparing the way for my other guest. My other guest could join. He's using a slightly different method. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in the first of my guests into the studio, as it were. Okay. My other guest, I'm sure, will join us. But you know what? Being of African heritage, okay, it means that we are very precise in our timings. Yeah. We're exact. We're always on time. We are never late. Yeah. That ideas are part of that cage mentality behavior doesn't wash here. Here, we're on time. Now we're ready for first of my guest. Let me bring up guest in. Let's see if this works first of all. Let's see if this works. Oh, it worked. Oh my gosh, it worked first time. Oh my dear. Now then, let me just check. If we can check the audio. Can my guest hear us first of all? Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you? Grand
I'm
Rising.
well. I'm grand rising to you. Now, you are now what you have the camera facing your light, so you are in the shadows, my dear. We cannot
Oh
see
boy. So
your
you're telling me I have to
African.
move?
Oh my gosh, we can't see your African greatness. Oh my dear.
All right. Let me
Oh
see if I
dear.
can move. Let
Yeah,
me see if I
yeah.
can move around.
Okay, all righty. While she does that, then we oh, that's better. Oh my God, the African greatness. Oh my dear, it's always true. When you see African women on the social media, and you see them in their glory, oh my gosh, you have to appreciate them, no?
Grand Rising. Grand Rising.
I can write it too, yes. Aye, aye. Oh my gosh, yes, you have to appreciate them, my dear, my dear. Hey, anyway,
Thanks.
here we go. Grand rising to you, my sister, my grand rising. Now, I know we're waiting a great man as well from the island of Jamaica. Now, we can only hope that he is able to remember the steps that I showed him when we did the yes, I know. So be ready. You may just because you know what it's a true testament that ultimately women work for you women. Yeah, provide to protect for you all the time. Yeah, and we will sacrifice ourselves for you. So we want to make sure that you women are in the best possible condition. Mhm. That's what I say. That's what I say. Praise Jah. And
Give thanks.
therefore, there are times in which you just have to carry the load for us until the man them turn up. You hear that,
Okay, I hear
yeah?
that.
Yeah, you hear that. But anyway, we'll see. Let's see. I'm sure our guest will arrive and soon. Anyway, you know what? You're okay. We start. Yes, is that okay?
Oh yes, certainly.
My
No
dear.
worries.
Okay.
No
Now,
worries.
before I begin the interview formally, okay, I know you very well. Okay, I know you very well. Okay, and you are amongst the most respected persons that I know. Okay, I put my hands on heart and praise Jah, Rastafari. Okay,
Aye, aye.
so I'm going to ask you, please, to just say your name, the organization or your religious affiliation. Okay, and then I want you to conclude by sharing with the audience a person or event that is inspired your life. Hmm.
Hmm. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
my name
Right.
is Marcia Cunningham, and
Mm-hmm.
people and ones and ones know me as Sister Marcia.
Mm-hmm.
I am the female co-chair of Global African Congress Elders.
Mm-hmm.
I am the
Wow.
founder of Black Mama Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I've recently started working with a company called Cedulus.
Mm-hmm.
It's a research company, and an event that marked my life is the Mama Warriors of Kenya. When I saw the
Mm-hmm.
first female marshal
Mm-hmm.
had said she would never cut her locks until Kenya is free.
Oh my gosh.
He
Oh
gave
my
me
gosh.
this,
Come on. Right. I need to interview that woman again. Yes, sir. Go on. Keep talking.
he
Yes.
gave me the incentive when I saw her when I was quite young in Jamaica that,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, I want to be like this woman.
Uh-huh.
So, when I came to England, I started to grow my antennas, my natty,
Yes.
because
Yes.
she was my inspiration.
Wow. Tell us, if I may, that's such a beautiful example. Just tell us a little bit more about her. So she refused to cut her locks until the country gained independence. Well, the Mama were free. Just tell us a bit more about her, because she's a fascinating personality. She's an example of the resilience of our people. Please tell us a bit more.
She was the first female marshal amongst the freedom fighters, the Mama in Kenya. She got a bullet. She miscarried so many times because of how she was living.
Yeah.
I believe she passed, I think it was the beginning of last year.
Okay.
If it's either the end of 2023 or the
Yes.
beginning of 2024, she was, like I said, a strong woman who she stood up for what she believed in.
Yes. Yes.
And like I said, that's the reason for me growing my locks.
And you don't mind if I ask this from Sister Marsha, where your family come from? Where were you born?
I was born in Northampton.
Okay, but your family's from?
Jamaica. So
There you go.
my mom's side is from Westmoreland and my dad's side is from St. Anne. But I grew up in Montego Bay.
Okay, you see, there's something about that island, isn't it? That
Yeah, man.
it has over the decades, over the centuries, has been the fountain from which great Africans have arisen.
Yes.
And I see that in you. I see that in you. And thank you for that example.
Thank you.
Wow. And what's your
Wasn't
highlight?
expecting that one, right?
But that one was a good one, though, huh? That was a good one,
Thank
yes?
Thanks.
Okay, praise be. What I want to now, in that case, is just talk further, because I want to tackle the issue at hand. And this is, of course, Rastafari. Okay. I really wanted our other guests to be handy here, because there are some of these questions which I definitely want to put to you. There'll be no doubt, okay? But I know the other guest, it would be really great if that other guest was here. And I'm just
Do you want
pondering
to get in touch with him? Do you want to put me on hold and get in touch with him?
I have tried, but I'll. Yes, I might just give them a try. So what I've got to do then, if I may, I'm going to play a part of the intro video, okay, just for a few minutes, and see if I can get through to him, because I know he would not wish to miss this. So I know he just needs help. I know that. Don't worry, I know that. So let me just, if you don't mind, let me just do that, and let's get him.
Just put me on hold. Just put me on hold.
Thank you. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to play part of the intro video. Okay. So listen, everybody, listen. And the intro video, as a way, is a good prelude, of course, to this interview. But watch and learn. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, God Emperor of Ethiopia and Rastafari. Ethiopianism was a religious and political movement practiced by sub-Saharan Africans during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, representing early efforts toward autonomy from colonial rule. It emerged as African Christians sought to establish independent churches, free from European missionary control, to affirm their cultural identity and resist racial discrimination. The movement drew inspiration from biblical references to Ethiopia, particularly in Psalm 68, verse 31. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God. This verse symbolized a vision of African unity and self-governance, fostering a sense of pride and destiny amongst African communities worldwide. Edward Wilmot Blyden, born 1832, passed 1912. He was born on St. Thomas, a Caribbean island. His parents claimed descent from the Igbo people of present-day Nigeria. He is associated with Ethiopianism due to his promotion of African pride, cultural preservation, and self-determination. Ethiopianism, which viewed Ethiopia as a symbol for Africa's dignity and resilience based on biblical references, aligned with Blyden's advocacy for Africans to develop their own institutions and celebrate their unique identity. His ideas influenced prominent Pan-African leaders like Marcus Garvey, George Padmore, and Kwame Nkrumah, solidifying his place in history. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, God Emperor of Ethiopia and Rastafari. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia on November 2nd, 1930, at the Cathedral of St. George in Addis Ababa. The coronation was a traditional Hebraic Christian ceremony. His Majesty Haile Selassie I was born Tafari Makonnen. He took the name of Haile Selassie I, which means power of the Trinity. The ceremony included an ivory and gold scepter, a gold globe, a diamond ring, and 2 traditional lances. The ceremony was attended by royals and political leaders and representatives from around the world, including Britain, Belgium, France, United States, Egypt, Turkey, Sweden, and Japan. And he said, "We Africans will fight. If necessary, we will know that we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil." Praise Jah. Ancient African monarch meets recent British royals. The tradition is, and protocol requires, that the British royals will bow. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie's family lineage is believed to extend across several centuries, tracing its roots to the Solomonic dynasty, from the union of King Solomon of Israel and the Queen of Sheba. This lineage is central to the Ethiopian history and Rastafarian beliefs. The Solomonic dynasty's origins are traditionally dated to around 970 before the Christian era, with Menelik I, the son of Solomon, and the Queen of Sheba, regarded as its founder. The dynasty intimately ruled Ethiopia for nearly 3,000 years from its inception. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie confirms direct descent from this lineage, asserting continuity with the Solomonic traditions. His family history spans nearly 30 centuries, approximately 3,000 years. Marcus Garvey was born on August 17, 1887 in St. Anne's Bay, a town located in north coast of Jamaica. Garvey founded the UNIA in 1914 in Jamaica, which became the largest global organization promoting Pan-African ideals. The UNIA aimed to unite Africans worldwide and advocated for economic independence, self-determination, and the establishment of a unified Africa. In 1919, Garvey launched the Black Star Line, a shipping company designed to facilitate trade and transportation between Africa and the African diaspora. Although the company faced financial and operational challenges, it symbolized Garvey's commitment to Africa's economic empowerment. Garvey used biblical references to Ethiopia and Africa as symbols of resilience and redemption for black peoples. His emphasis on Ethiopia resonated with Ethiopianisms and reinforced the vision of a free and united Africa. Garvey organized international UNIA conventions, such as the 1920 convention in New York, where the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World was adopted. The document outlined the aspiration and racial equality and self-determination that African independence represented. Marcus Garvey was born on August 17, 1887 in St. Anne's Bay. Alrighty, okay. Let's see. We hope that our other guest will join us. I'm still monitoring what's happening on that side. I can only hope that if he's able to join us, that he joins us during the appropriate time frame. Okay, okay. But there you are, my sister. We tried, and we can only hope that there are some hours behind us. So it's it's quite early in the morning there. So there we go. Okay, all righty. Okay. Oh, now you're muted. You are muted. You are
Yeah, well,
muted.
after 3 in the morning.
Yes, it is. It is. So it is well, though. It is well. I'm sure he will join us, but it is fine. I'm going to, as I said before, we are here to provide and protect, okay, and to ensure that you are well. But sometimes you just have to help us to carry the load. Okay.
I shall try. See,
You will be.
I'm also a female Rastafari chaplain, meaning that I
Mm-hmm.
do palliative care. So yes, I will carry the load.
Oh, before I go to that, just tell us more about that role, because you are the first chaplain, female chaplain I've encountered in Rastafari. What do you
Yes,
do in that role? Yes, please. Yeah. Mhm.
right. So I did a spiritual course, mental
Mhm.
health course with a lady called Junie Mohammed. Now,
Mhm.
when I did that course, the head of King's College Hospital chaplaincy was there
That's just to be clear, just for the benefit of the audience, that King College Hospital is a local hospital in South London. Yep.
in South London, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So after I did my presentation on the discrimination of Rastafari in mental health, he approached
Okay.
me and he said he wants me to be a chaplain within the hospital, in prisons, in hospice, and I agreed.
Wonderful.
So I can always go to any of those places. It's dealing with, but I deal mainly with palliative care, not with the
Hmm.
afterlife. When they've
Hmm. Hmm.
transcended that, there's someone else who take over. And
Yes.
palliative care is not just people dying; it's people who have long-term illnesses as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's to visit them to make sure that spiritually they're comfortable within themselves.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that is what I try to do. Be there for our Rastafari brethren and sistren.
Hmm. Hmm. And they obviously appreciate the fact that you're present and there to give them support, moral support.
Certainly, because even in the hospital and stuff like that, people don't really see people like themselves who are going around and speaking to them. It's
Hmm.
always the Christians, the Muslim, the Normans. So
Yes.
they're appreciative when they see someone who is like them, who is trying to offer them some comfort in their time of need.
Mm. Thank you. And
You're welcome.
thank you for the support you're giving to the community. Thank you for that
Thank you.
support. It is, I cannot understate how important that support is. It is, we say it here often on the Motivated Show that you could do things alone. That's true. Yeah. But if we do it together and we support each other, we can multiply the potential for success. So
It's so true.
you are so transforming lives. I want to
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. I
Thanks.
wasn't fully aware that you were doing this. But let me go into the interview proper now. And I want to first of all just go to the origins of Rastafari. Okay, I of course started to allude to the origins in the intro video, as you would have heard. Okay,
Mhm.
its emanation from Ethiopianism, of course, a consciousness. Uh, so my first question to you is, in your practice, I'm going to start with you personally because it's slightly different than what I was intending, but slightly in your practice in Rastafari. Okay, um, the word liberty comes up regularly. Okay,
Right. Mhm.
liberty. Okay, Livi. Yep. Okay,
Mhm.
what does it mean, and what is the practice that it is describing? Mhm.
When you say liberty, it's a way of life.
Aha.
It's
Okay,
a way of
tell us
life.
more. Tell us
Because
more.
a lot of people still look at Rastafari as a religion. I don't.
Aha.
I see
Mm-hmm.
Rastafari as a way of life. So
Mm-hmm.
your liberty is, in the Bible it said, "Be in this world, but not of this world."
Okay. Yep.
So when you look at Rastafari, that's the only people you can look at. Well, as as people of color, to say that, oh, that person is different. Their livity, the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they eat. So that is
Right.
the livity that I see Rastafari is.
Okay. And that's understood. And so, in practicing the liberty, how does it manifest? Just tell us about the food, for example. How does it impact how you eat, for example?
Right. So different people, different mansions eat differently, meaning that
Uh-huh.
it might be the 12 tribe, they will eat
Okay.
meat.
Okay.
You have
Uh-huh.
the Nyabingi and the Bobo Dread, who is
Uh-huh.
strictly an ital diet. An ital diet meaning that they don't like salt, they don't like oil, they don't.
Yes.
So it's living from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So most of them grow what, well, obviously can't do it here in the Western world, but
Yes.
they try to grow what they eat.
Yes. Yes.
So that is the ital food, wherein they cook with a lot of coconut.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
know, you know, you stew down everything with your coconut, and you make it. It's patable. It is, you can eat it compared
Right.
to say, oh, I need chicken, I need fish, I need oxtail or cow foot.
Yes. Yes. Understood. So the liberty would be you eat. What about so that's one aspect. What about the exercise and meditation, etc.? I suppose it does vary from mansion. In fact, maybe in speaking about liberty, we can begin to describe the three main mansions. You mentioned two so far. Okay, you mentioned you said, say again that the three main mansions.
Right.
Just say.
So the three main mansions that I would
Mhm,
look at is
mhm.
Nyabingi, which was
Yes.
started because there was a Queen Nyabingi. Nyabingi is the oldest
Hmm.
section of
Hmm.
Rastafari.
Right.
So you have Nyabingi, you have Bobo Dread, and you have 12 tribe.
Right. And
So
I
that's what I'm
understand that
saying.
I understand Naibingi, the name comes from the Ugandan queen who
Queen,
ruled
right?
Uganda in the 19th century. Right. That's what I
Yeah,
understand.
yes.
Mhm.
She was very
Go
a
ahead.
mystic person, and that's the
Yes.
reason. So Nyabingis are the one who would say are the more spiritual ones.
Okay.
They do a lot of chanting. So you would say that there are the Nyabing Bomba Dread. You can always see a Bomba Dread with his turban, might be his
Hmm.
long robe.
Okay.
The 12th tribe, the 12th
Oh,
tribe,
okay, okay. You do this too quickly. So the Bomber Dread, I recognize them. They always wear almost priestly garments. Yes,
priestly
okay.
garments. Yes.
And they are definitely very most divine Rastas I've ever encountered. You know, they are spiritually enhanced. That is for
Enhanced.
sure. Yes,
Okay.
that is for sure. Praise Jacob. Please go ahead.
Oh, wow. Well, and the Nyabingi, I think
Mhm.
as well, they do a lot of chanting, meditation.
They
So
do. Yeah. Yeah.
Nyabingi is well up there with the Bobo
Okay.
Dread.
Oh dear. I don't want to cause any competition now.
No, 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 no. I can't be partial, because if
Okay.
someone, if the hospice call me and I said to them what mansion the person is,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Okay. That would be
to
a
find
problem.
out
Yeah.
how you would deal with that person, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
So I can't be
Okay.
partial, or try to say I'm going to be looking at one mansion over another.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I said, with the 12 tribe, the
Yes.
12 tribe, they um they more of a religious, I should say. They
What
build
does that
you will
mean? When you
hear
say
them
religious, you mean the more Christian or is it? Just tell me
Christian,
what.
you'll hear them talk about Jesus.
Uh-huh.
They use
Right.
the Old and New Testament Bible a lot.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, can you see if you can know someone who is a 12 tribe? You have to me, you have to ask them. But
Okay.
the only difference with, all right, so you have the red, green, and gold. The red, green, and
Yes.
gold, the Boba Dread has got the red at the top. The
Hmm.
Naya Bingi, they have it at the bottom and have the green at the top.
Oh, are they allowed to do that? I thought it was set by doctrine, but anyway.
No, no, no. The
Uh,
because the Bobo Dread, they're supposed to be like the fireman.
uh-huh.
So they
Okay.
have
Go
their
on.
red at the top.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes, I hear you.
While
I hear you.
Yeah, right. The Nyabingi has got it. The red at the bottom.
Mm. Okay, so the three mentions, okay, but there are other mentions within those mentions. That's right.
Well, you have things like the Ethiopian World Federation. You
Okay,
have people who go to the Orthodox Church as well.
you mean the Ethiopian Orthodox
Orthodox,
Tahido Church?
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Okay.
So those are still part of the Rastafari community.
Hmm. That's interesting because and this will be clear. And so the if let's take them the mentions in turn. Let's start with the 12 tribe. Okay, because that's one I also recognise. Uh, they tend to be far more inclusive. They would accept people from different backgrounds, ethnicities as well into their fold. Is that right?
Mhm. That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Why
Um,
the Bobo Dread would fireburn that from morning
Okay.
till night.
Now, hold on, hold on. So now we're Jamaicans, okay? So we use terminology which might sound, well, quite okay. So so we say fire burn, okay? We what you actually saying is that they would not welcome people who are not of the community into their fold.
That's correct.
That is right, okay? Fire burn. But okay, but it's understood. The 12 tribe would accept people from different background, different ethnicities, and maybe different religious heritages into their fold, provided, of course, they adhere to a set of canons, a set of doctrines. I would assume.
That's correct, yes.
Right.
Yes. If
Okay.
it doesn't matter what ethnicity the person
Mhm,
is, as
mhm.
long as the person said they want to follow Rastafari, then you will see
Right.
them in the 12 tribe.
Okay. So I suppose what I'm really alluding at here is what do the mentions have in common? What is the fundamental that all mentions have in common? I wonder. Okay.
Have in common, I would say Marcus Garvey.
Okay.
I would
We
say
we
Rast.
say we say Marcus Garvey. What do you mean? Because I know who Marcus Garvey is, but remember the audience do not. So let's just tell them who is Marcus Garvey and why is he an important personality.
I would say Marcus Garvey is important on various level. Number
Hmm.
one, Marcus Garvey told you about look to the east for a king, which
Aha.
everyone, is saying it's A Selassie.
Hmm.
He taught people not to rely on the Christianity. He was Afrocentric.
Okay.
So even though he was a Rasta himself, he showed he respected Rastafariism and
Yes.
what it stood for.
Hmm.
So whatever mansion that you're at, you will say that Marcus Garvey is a great person.
Right. Okay. Yep.
So that's
Um,
one.
and just for the benefit of the audience, what I'm going to do is just say a little bit about Marcus Garvey, because of course, a powerful personality, and of course, a Jamaican national hero. Okay.
From St. Anne.
And from Sedan. Oh God, there you go. From Sedan. Okay. So Marcus Garvey was born on August 17th in 1887, indeed in St. Anne's, okay, which is of course northern coast of Jamaica. He founded in 1914 the UNIA, uh, which was the largest global organization promoting Pan-African ideals. Okay. And of course, he advocated for, and this is going back to the turn of the early 20th century, a hostile time for Africans. So, he's working against many odds at the time. But this organization was formed in promoting Pan African ideals. And the UNIA aimed to unite Africans worldwide and advocated for economic independence, self determination, and the establishment of a unified Africa. My guest, Last Strong, the African Continental Unity Party, promotes that. The president of Burkina Faso, Captain President Ibrahim Traoré, promotes this, and now the new president of Ghana is promoting the same. The resonance is powerful, absolutely powerful. Marcus Garvey founded the Black Star Liner. Of course, the Black Star Line was a shipping line that he founded so we could trade from the Caribbean to Africa, and people who want to repatriate to Africa could be repatriated. Okay, powerful personality. He was a remarkable, charismatic personality. At one point, the UNIA had over 4 million members. Yeah, paid up members.
Powerful.
Paper. Powerful person. So his personality, its resonance, is resonating still throughout African peoples worldwide, whether you be at home in Africa or abroad in the Caribbean and beyond. Okay, his personality is resonating. Praise Jah, Rastafari. There you go.
Aye.
Go, continue,
Okay.
my sister. Continue, my sister.
Yes, so that is one thing that I would say that all the mansions have
In common.
in
Okay.
common,
Mhm.
and all respect and honor. Some people might say that Selassie is a prophet, some might say it's a god, but all is aware of Selassie and Empress Menen. See, that's one thing that people need to understand. The day that Selassie was crowned,
Mhm.
his queen, his empress, his wife was also crowned. So people
Yes.
need to start resonating and just not just saying Haile Selassie, but Haile Selassie and Empress Menen, one perfect balance. Because
Mhm.
one wing can't fly. So you cannot fly on one wing, in
This is
other
true.
words.
Yes.
Queen's English. So we have
This
to
is
have that
true.
perfect
Yes.
balance,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know. So that is another thing that the houses have. A lot of, I wouldn't say all of the houses resonate where they see women as equal. Some
Mhm.
do still.
Can I forgive me, my sister, before you go into that part, because that's another subject, and I want to get to that. I did want to focus for a few more minutes on His Imperial Majesty, Haile
Okay.
Selassie I. Okay, because
Mhm.
again, a significant personality. Um, I, I used the term early on, Ethiopianism. Okay, this was a concept that was being promoted by early African thinkers. Okay, and this was before Haile Selassie, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, ascended the throne. Okay, let me just remind people what we mean by Ethiopianism. Now, bearing in mind, Ethiopia plays a important role in the history of African peoples. It was and remains the only country that was not colonized.
Colonized. Right. That's
Praise
true.
Jah, yeah, praise Jah. And as a result, it has a certain strength in it. Okay. Now, but there was an African man who highlighted the strength of Ethiopia. His name was Edward Wilmot Blyden. A name that is not often said in common parlance, but let me say it here in common parlance. He was born in 1832, died in 1912. Okay, he was born on an island called St. Thomas. Okay, it's a Caribbean island, as opposed to St. Thomas in Jamaica. He was born in an island called St. Thomas. Okay, his parents claim Igbo descent. Igbo land being an integral part of what we now call Nigeria. Okay,
Mhm.
so he and others formulated the idea of Ethiopianism because it was an independent African nation. It, it was intended to promote African pride, cultural preservation, and self-determination. It's Ethiopianism views Ethiopia as being a symbol for Africa's dignity and resilience. And of course, he uses biblical references which aligned with his advocacy for Africans to develop their own institutions, celebrate their unique identity. Okay. And it's these teachings that influence Marcus Garvey, the likes of George Podmore, yeah, and of course Kwame Nkrumah. Okay,
Nkrumah, right.
there you go. Yeah, powerful personality. Again, I say he's not usually referenced in common parlance. Okay,
Because he died in Sierra Leone, didn't he? So he
yes,
went
he
back
did.
home.
He went back
He
home.
went
That's
back,
right.
yeah,
Okay.
he went back home.
And let's now just focus now on His Imperial Majesty,
Right.
Haile Selassie I. Okay, so of course he ascended the throne on November 2nd in 1930. Okay, and of course in the cathedral in Addis Ababa. Okay, the coronation was the traditional Hebraic and indeed Christian ceremony. Okay. And I want just to create that picture for the benefit of the audience here. And if, again, my other guest was here, it's also do the same. Okay. He was originally born as Tafari Makonnen.
Makonnen, yeah.
Yep, thank you. Yep. But he took the name Haile Selassie I, which means power of the Trinity.
Right.
Okay. Therefore, all African names usually are grounded in culture, history, and tradition, and that's therefore have significance. Therefore, and this particular name most certainly has significance. Okay. Now, his coronation, remember, the only African nation that's independent and has displayed strength in the face of intense European attacks upon it, but was able to defend its borders and maintain that integrity of those borders all that time.
That's correct.
Now, the very same people who were attacking other parts of the continent attended his coronation. He had represented leaders from countries around the world, including Britain, Belgium, France, United States, Egypt, Turkey, Sweden, Japan, and other places right around the world. Yeah, they attended his coronation. And at his coronation, he said this: "We Africans will fight. If necessary, we will know that we shall win. We are confident in the victory of good over evil. Praise Jah, Rastafari." Hey. When I read that for the first time when I was a young boy, I tell you, I was knocked off my feet. I was knocked off my feet. Oh my God. You
where's the natty?
Hey, I know. Them cut it off. But anyway, remember, it's there. It's a mindset.
So
remember, the mindset.
That is so true. People will look at someone, even with me cutting my natty, people won't know that, I'm still within my heart. That is where it is. Is what I'm saying. So Haile Selassie and Ethiopia has that impact. A lot of people still, we'll have to do might be one sermon, or have you have guesses talking about Empress Menen, because a lot of people still don't know exactly the depth of things that she did for her country just the same. You see what I'm saying?
I'm going to say this to you. I will do so in 6 weeks' time.
Okay,
and I'm going to invite you to come back as well. I am preparing the way. Don't worry, I anticipate it. Don't you worry. I am preparing the way. I'm preparing the way.
Yeah, there's so many queens in Ethiopia before Haile Selassie's attitude and everything like that. So when we look at Ethiopia, we see that strength. We see where, like you said, these nations all over the world, they might not have liked him, but they were there to show their unity.
Had to respect,
their respect that that was given to him.
Yes.
And it was given to him and his wife, because they were crowned on the same day.
It is true. It is so true. It is true. And just to be clear, so Haile Selassie, of course, is the last of the Solomonic dynasties. From the union of King Solomon of Israel and the Queen of Sheba. Okay, so the lineage is central to Ethiopian history and, of course, to Rastafari belief. Okay? Now, to be clear, this is interesting. When I was a young boy and I read this and I fully understood what this meant. This dynasty started more than 1,000 years before the Christian era. me say it again, 1,000 years
Mm-hmm.
before the Christian era. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, such a powerful observation. Okay.
That's so true.
But His Majesty Haile Selassie I confirmed direct descent from this lineage, asserting the continuity of the Solomonic tradition. His family spanned more than 30 centuries, approximately
Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't
3,000
it be good?
years.
Wouldn't it be
Can you?
good if all of us could trace back our history back to where we're from?
Wow. Could that be something? It'd
That
be
would be
an
something
empowering
fantastic.
experience,
Yeah.
truly
And
empowering
because a lot of
experience.
us don't know
Hmm.
where our origin is from, well,
Hmm.
I know I've got Igbo and stuff like that in me,
Hmm.
but that is why a lot of people go back to Shashamane, because that was
Yes.
somewhere that was given by Haile Selassie.
Ooh.
I think it was about
Okay,
500
you,
acres.
you jumped again, and I'm going to get to that
No,
Shasi. Oh, Lord, no, you
no,
jumped too
because
much.
we're talking about Ethiopia.
Okay,
We're
okay.
talking about Ethiopia. We're talking
Yes.
about Haile Selassie, what he's
Hmm.
done, what a lot of people can look back and said, yes, this is a powerful man.
Yes.
He
Yes.
Ethiopia was never conquered, never colonized, but he said, "Hey, come home. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care where you are from. Come home. Be
That's
here."
right. Now,
You know.
so say a little bit more about. I'm going to let you go on to this Shashamani in that case. I just wanted to, before I just move away from Haile Selassie, I did want to just point out that
Mhm.
amongst royal families across the world, across the globe, okay, the family with the most ancient lineage, whenever a relatively young royal monarch arrived, and when I mean in terms of their lineage arrives, the
Mhm.
family that has deeper and longer history stands up, and those who are younger approaches them and bows. It shows that's the protocol. It shows
Protocol.
respect. That's the protocol. Okay. And
Hence Queen Elizabeth doing that.
there you go. There you go. And they're trying to deny it. Don't you worry. That is, well, that's all part of the propaganda. And that's what
Mm,
had to happen.
mm.
Because clearly, a royal family that goes back 3,000 years, and yours is only a few hundred years, you have to bow and show
Exactly.
respect. Praise Jah,
Exactly.
Rastafari. Okay, now let's go to Shashamani. Why is Shashamani important? You said that he gave it to Africa, but I understood that it was the control of it was given to another organization I've had here, and that's the EWF, the Ethiopian World Federation, which was created as an intergovernmental organization to promote African interest, Ethiopian interest worldwide. Um, you tell me that, Kason, because you said Rastas, but actually it was EWF, wasn't it, that His Majesty gave the land to?
I think he gave it to the peoples of the world.
Okay,
I think he
okay.
gave it to everyone who people who were melanated.
Mm-hmm,
He
mm-hmm,
wanted to go back home. So I think out of that, EWF was formed.
mm-hmm,
Don't quote me on that. But
mm-hmm.
he gave it to the people of the world.
Okay.
So once you were melanated, you had that right to go back. Rastafari was one of the people who, for years, they talk about going back to Africa,
Mm-hmm,
going back
mm-hmm,
to Africa to find
mm-hmm.
their homeland. So
Yes.
they use that opportunity to do that, to go back home. But I don't think it was. If it was EWF, that doesn't mean that there are Rastas. You
Mm-hmm.
know, anyone could go on the EWF then, because as long
Mm.
as you were melanated, you could go back.
Yes.
So
Uh, this you're absolutely correct. Of course, Prince Baden um, registered EWF in New York
mhm,
in, I think it was 1917 or so. Now, it is true. It is true. And maybe we'll have the EWF back here and we have that discussion. Um, can I just, in touching on Shashamani, its importance, I
mhm.
want to, in parallel, also touch on the person who they generally recognize as being the first Rasta. Okay. Now, the first Rasta is generally recognized, and there may be some dispute, but never mind. Okay. As Leonard Percival Howell.
Howard, right.
Yes. He was born in the parish of Clarendon in Jamaica on June 16th. Okay. He was born in hero. There's no doubt about that. He was definitely born with some special blood. There is no doubt about that in my view. And beyond any shadow of a doubt, died a hero defending the community. Now, Howell was considered as the pioneer figure in the Rastafari movement after returning to Jamaica in 1932. He began preaching about the divinity of Emperor, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia, identifying him as the Messiah. In 1935, Howell published, this is the key book I want to encourage people to obtain, The Promise Key. And I don't know if you read that. Yep. I've got a copy now. I have a copy. The Promise Key. Okay. It outlined the movement principles. He also established in Jamaica the Pinnacle community. You may be familiar with it, okay? Yeah. Which became a central hub for the Rasta community at the time, the Pinnacle community. And my grandfather is familiar, okay? But the book, his book, the seminal book, The Promise Key, is one that I would encourage others to obtain. And others who wish to communicate with me, I'll share copies of it with you. It sets out the foundations of Rastafari. Without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So again, another source of inspiration. Okay, words have power. Okay, words have power. Okay, words have power.
You need to interview his daughter, Kathy.
Oh la la, oh la la. You know, we can talk. We can talk. Okay. So again, now let's return to Shashamane. Have you been there by chance? Have you been there
No,
yet?
not yet.
Yeah,
not
you haven't
yet.
at the principal yet. Okay. I've not been there myself either. And I need to find someone who's been there, experienced it, and can report back to us. Okay.
Oh yeah. I can find. I'll know lots of people.
Okay. Well,
we can even might be one of my cousin, JB. He's now living there.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people who we know here from London who's there. We have people who go back and forth, and some who's gone permanently.
Okay, that I believe will be very, very, very important. Okay, so again, all Rastas would have that in common. Again, we still talk about this in common. That the aspiration to, if not live and die in Shashamane, at the very least visit and invest in Shashamane, so you can build that community.
Pilgrimage, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I believe that's again a part of why Rastafari has taken hold and manifests itself. You may not say Rasta, but the principles of Rastafari and the spirit of Rastafari is through the actions. Because I'm of the view that Marcus Garvey and Kwame Nkrumah, were heavily influenced by Ethiopianism.
Ethiopia.
Yep. Okay. And therefore Ethiopia. And in turn, the current president of Burkina Faso. Yep. That's the energy flowing
Ethiopia
through.
stretched forth his hand.
There you go. Aha. You see? And that's what he's gone. Say why. Why that's an powerful statement. Who said that? Go on, my sister, explain.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With Ethiopia stretching forth his hand to the Western world, there is no way that we cannot recognize Shashamane as somewhere that is important within ourselves. Because Haile Selassie stretched forth his hand. He gave us the opportunity to come back home. Marcus Garvey tell us to look to the east for that person. So as far as I'm concerned, everyone who is melanated should visit Shashamane.
Okay, you see, there you are, and I suppose, and this is an interesting discourse. Of course, those of our peoples who are born on the continent of Africa would at least recognize the ethnic group, the peoples, the tribe that they are immediately linked with, that they are born into. Okay, but of course, the hundreds of millions of your peoples who were taken from Africa to the Caribbean and the Americas do not have that privilege. And this is why the words of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I was important. Come back, yeah. Haile Shashamani, come back, Haile Shashamani. Indeed, I want to give a thumbs up, if I may, to the president of Ghana, who recently said much the same.
Yes.
Yep.
But is he giving land as well?
I believe that may have been in the early stages. I believe that may not be the case now, but at the very least, give passports. So you can have a Ghanaian passport.
But where you coming back to? You have a passport. Where you coming back to? You need somewhere to live. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You need that start. You know, it's not just saying, "Oh yes, I'm a Ghanaian," but how are you helping me to integrate with the rest of the people?
I understand it. There is a department in government designed to help for the integration of the diasporans, because they recognise not only do we offer an energy and enthusiasm, that we come with skills and a determination to be successful, and for Africa to be successful. Yeah, that's what makes us distinctive. Okay. Makes it distinctive. Wow. Powerful. Let me just take us forward, okay? Because we're discussing in parallel what the houses have in common. And you've cited, of course, the three main houses, the 12 tribes, the Naibingi mansions, and of course, Baba Shanti. Okay.
Baba Shanti.
Okay. And you've identified them as being the three main houses, of which there are others that fall under them. These are the offshoot from those three main, okay? And you've identified them in their slight difference in emphasis, And I like Naibingi, but let me just talk about Naibingi for a moment, if I may, okay?
Oh, I thought you said Papa Dread.
Well, don't worry, I'm getting there. Don't worry, I'll show you. I like about Naibingi. Listen to this, here we go. Now, you see, Naibingi theology centers on the divinity of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I.
Right.
Now, his followers regard him as the manifestation of God, or Jah, as it were,
Rastafari.
on earth, and the fulfilment of biblical prophecy. So they ascribe to him titles such as the King of Kings, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Yeah. This emphasizes, of course, his divine role, derived from scriptures such as Revelation. Revelation, I can remember now. Here we go. Revelation. Oh yes, I've got it. Chapter 5, verse 5. Okay, I won't read it out now, but indeed, chapter 19, verse 16. Now, what's important about Naibingi is that they also reject Babylon. Of course, Babylon, as we say Babylon, representing the oppressive systems like colonialism, materialism, and indeed capitalism. Right. And of course, Naibingi calls for spiritual resistance. And now, of course, a strong
That's why they do a lot of chanting. They do a lot of
chanting. Absolutely. You hear me chanting now, yeah? You hear me chanting, yeah? So the strong emphasis is placed on Pan-Africanism, the belief that Africa is Zion, yeah, the spiritual and physical homeland for African diaspora, advocating for the restoration of African dignity, heritage, and self-reliance. Right. Okay. I had to say that. Let's get it out of my system, because it is central to the Motivator Show. Let me tell you, it's central to the Motivator Show.
I hear that.
Now, absolutely, I'm not a vegetarian, though. Okay, so I'm not a very good.
Really?
I'm not a vegetarian.
We need to talk then.
I know I'm not a good vegetarian. Okay, I have to admit that. Okay, but he hasn't diverted the energies unduly, he says. But the Naibingi or the Naibingi liberty. Let's go back to
Right.
liberty, but
Hmm.
promote living in harmony with nature,
With nature.
maintaining, he says, a vegetarian or correct term is ITAL diet.
Eat what you eat what you grow.
I
You see what
know.
I'm
Yes.
saying? So you're living from the
Okay.
earth. You're
Yes,
living from
that's
the
right.
earth. And like I said, the Baba Dread do the same, but the Nyabingi, you will know that there are farmers. The
Hmm.
women are the women are say like the spiritual leaders, but the men
Hmm.
are out there farming, the female are out there farming just the same. That
Yes,
is Nyabingi.
that's
That's
Naibingi.
that's because
And
you even walking on the street, or say
mm,
for instance, you go to a field and you take
mhm.
off your shoes and walk
Yes,
on that field, that
that's right.
grounding,
That's
that
right.
ground. So I'm saying, so that's the Rastafari take on that natural livity, that
Mm-hmm.
natural life to be with the earth. You're from the earth, you're going back to the earth. So respect
Hmm.
the earth.
There you go. So
That's the sort of
its roots is the African resistance movement. Naibingi theology views prayer, drumming, and unity as
yes,
powerful tools against injustice, encouraging collaboration amongst the people. And I say again, collaboration amongst the people,
that's
both
correct.
Rastafarians and, of course, African peoples worldwide.
That's correct.
Yeah, praise be. Now, powerful. That's why I have to appreciate Nyabinga all the time. I have to appreciate them all the time. And if I may them, let's go back to 12 tribe. And I know if our guest was here, it definitely want to focus on 12 tribe. But let me
Right.
just talk about 12 tribe for a moment. Because again, this is what and you'll see common themes in the description. Let's talk about 12 tribe, of course. Now,
Hmm.
this is interesting. As I studied the history of 12 tribe, of course, of course, and you will recognize Prophet Gad. Yes,
Hmm.
you recognize him, okay? Now, I won't quote his other name, but Prophet Gad. Let me just focus on that, okay?
Hmm.
Um, he formed of the founder of the 12 tribe as a way to organize the Rasta faith and make
Hmm.
it more accessible to a broader audience. Of course, he emphasized studying the Bible, particularly the King James Version, which I don't understand, but anyway, there you go, and encourage members to read it from Genesis to Revelations. But he seeks and sought to ensure spiritual understanding. For that, you know what, I've got to appreciate him for that, you know. Now, 12 tribe are organized around the 12 sons of Jacob from the
Jacob.
Bible. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, members are assigned a tribe, okay, 12 tribe, yeah, are assigned a
Hmm.
tribe based on their birth month.
Right.
Yep. Now, unlike other Rasta mansions, the 12 tribes are known for being inclusive, and we discussed it earlier, welcoming people of all ethnicities and backgrounds. And
Hmm.
they stress the divinity, of course, this is what they all have in common, the divinity of His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie I, as well as the teachings of Jesus Christ, yeah? Blending Rasta traditions and Christian principles into one mansion.
You see what
That's a complex thing. Yes, go on.
one of the main problem I have with that. Where's the female?
Yes, yes,
The 12 people you're telling me about all male. So
yes.
where's the what about Dinah? Didn't wasn't there a
Yeah.
female sister?
Mhm,
So those are the things that, I wouldn't say that I am against or anything, but that's
mhm.
the sort of thing that I look at because I look at balance, gender
Yes,
balance at all
yes.
time.
Mahat,
Because you
Mahat.
cannot be
Yes,
here without me. I am the
quite right.
female, I am the womb. So why
Mhm.
aren't you saying my part there? Why are I'm only talking about 12 men?
Okay. And of course, what we're demonstrating today, we're sharing information and we're empowering people to make decisions. Okay. And
Hmm.
what you're helping them to do is to make sound decisions. Okay.
Well, to think, I'm not telling no one 12 tribe, Nyabingi, Bobo Dread, to follow, because as a Rastafari, you have to know within yourself
That's
when
right.
it's time for you to know
That's
who you
right.
are.
That's right.
But
That's
what I'm
right.
saying is, look at things that show that Mama Earth. We talk about Mama Earth, so we should always look at things that respect the earth, the
That's
woman,
right.
the
That's
womb,
right. That's
man.
right.
I'm not
Mahat.
no
Yes.
woe to no man. I'm a womb man.
There you go. Yeah,
So
yeah,
those are the
yeah.
things you have to respect.
Face Jar, Rastafari. Let me now just touch on the third mansion you mentioned, and that's of course Baba Shanti. Mhm.
Bobo.
Now, it's one of
Fire!
the it's one of the prominent mansions of
Right,
Rastafari. It was
right.
founded, of course, by Prince Emmanuel
Oh,
Charles
Prince
Edward
Emmanuel.
in
Yeah.
1958, okay, in
Mhm.
Jamaica. Now, he was often referred to as Prince Emmanuel, the Black Christ in flesh, or the priest king. Now, Emmanuel's followers regarded him as part of the Holy Trinity,
Prophet.
alongside, curiously, His Imperial Majesty Haile
Mhm.
Selassie I and Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
Now, he's seen as a prophet and the reincarnation of Christ in flesh. So he established Protestantism as a spiritual and political movement, emphasizing self-reliance and African redemption and moral living. Now, for that, I can't fault him. For that, I can't fault him. I must say that. I can't fault him. Okay. And I suppose in my early days, I was most certainly impressed by those facts. Those facts were powerful for me. And we're going to get on to reggae music and why these messages I learned when I was in primary school and as a teenager, much of this. Okay. So it became a part of my consciousness. Okay.
You see, one thing I must say about the Bobo Dread is
Yes.
that I love that unity.
Hmm.
They form community. You know, you will go up and you see a Bobo Dread up in the hills, and you see it's the male, the woman, the man, the children, they're
Hmm.
all together. So that
Yes.
is one thing that I admire about the
Hmm.
Bobo Dread.
I agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
they're not intimidating.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? They are getting themselves away from Babylon. So
Yes.
be, they're be in this world, but not of this world.
That's right. That's right.
So that's
And you say
self-reliant.
it so you said it so well, my sister, because the practices of Baba Shanti uphold very strict disciplines. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yep. Adhere
I think
to
they're the
the
strictest one.
yes, they're definitely the strictest.
Yeah.
Don't worry, and they adhere to a priestly lifestyle. Trust me,
Yes. Right.
I
It's
wouldn't. I
the
would not have been
Sabbath.
allowed to eat meat. Let me tell you, they
Oh no.
no. Oh, okay, they often, of course, wear turbans, head wrap, yeah,
Turbans.
and
Yes.
long robes, yeah, to
But that's what I'm saying.
signify
You can
their
see them.
holiness. Hmm.
Yes. They
Yep,
be in this world, but they're not of this world. You can see
yep,
them and you know that that person is different.
that's right.
So that is,
It is
yes.
true. It symbolizes a separation from Babylon, okay,
Hmm.
of course, and emphasize daily prayer, fasting, okay,
Hmm.
and living according to the commandment of Jah, or God, if you like, but in
Hmm.
accordance to Jah. Yeah? Now,
Yes.
so it's very much a community based on theocracy, with Emmanuel seen as their, of course, their spiritual leader,
The
part of
spiritual
that,
leader. Yeah.
yeah, being of that tripartite, yeah, and they stress the importance of repatriation to Africa. Yeah, so honestly, Baba Shanti for me was very impressive, very disciplined, maybe too disciplined,
Very,
maybe.
very disciplined. And then Nyabingi
Yes.
have like their 7 days chanting. They
Hmm.
have a lot
That's
of
right.
where they burn the fire.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
they are the second down from Bobo. Like I
Okay.
said, yes, Bobo is up there with discipline.
Yes. Yes.
Discipline is number one for them.
Trust me, there are many, many young men I meet here in London.
Hmm.
Let me tell you, if I could organize for Bobo to be here in my area of London, organized facilities for them so they can practice right here in London. There are many boys that would greatly benefit from the discipline, the focus that Boba
Yeah.
would create for them.
They would
That
need
much,
a boot
I'm
camp.
1,000,000% assured. Sorry.
They would not need a boot camp if Bobo come there.
No. We have all what it needs. We have in
Yes.
Jamaica, across the Caribbean and Africa, all what we need to be successful. We have the right structures and principles already in place. We just got to utilize them. Okay. Can I just move us quickly forward, and I'm just conscious of time now. I want to focus on reggae music.
Okay.
Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to speak to those who don't know for the moment, okay? Then I'm going to interact with you, my sister. And so reggae is a style of, I'm going to say it, popular music originating in Jamaica with a strong accented beat, yeah? And those of you who've been watching my podcast and watching the intro videos, you know that I play to a accented beat, reggae beat, without a shadow of a doubt. It's a spiritual, rhythmic beat that is in tune with our senses, our higher self. Okay. Now, reggae evolved in the late 60s from ska and other local variations of calypso, which we need to recognize, yeah? And of course, the American rhythm and blues, okay? And became internationally recognized, I suppose, particularly with the advent of Bob Marley, okay?
Right.
His
And the
lyrics, of
Wailers.
course, and the Wailers. Forgive me, you're quite right. Bob Marley and the Wailers, because Toots and others would
Can't
definitely.
forget Peter Touch.
No, you can never
Bonnie
forget
Wailer.
them. Sorry. No, you can never. Geniuses, musical geniuses, okay? And of course, their lyrics were heavily influenced by Rasta ideals. Okay? Now, so Rastafari profoundly influenced reggae music, shaping its themes, its aesthetics, in other words, the look, the cultural significance, and of course, reggae became a powerful vehicle to express Rasta ideals and spreading the message across the world. Oh yeah, okay. And you and I, of course, would have sat down for many long hours listening to reggae music, being chanted by the beat and being receptive to those spiritual ideals. That is truly Rastafari, okay? Now, often, and you and I have the same generation, so we recognize the truths and right era of the music, okay? Which often reflected Rasta beliefs, addressing topics such as spirituality, oppression, and liberation. And therefore, the concept, and I recall often when I was quoting Babylon, this, Babylon, that, from the music, of course, resisting Babylon, symbolizing, of course, what we mean by that. We're resisting colonialism, that brainwashing, the systematic oppression, was always that recurring theme in reggae songs, okay?
I think reggae came out in a time where people needed something to hold on to, something to recognize, you know, that inspiration. So that is the what reggae music did in those days.
Yes.
You still
You're
have some
quite
artists.
right.
You still might have some few artists now who are really taking up the bandwagon of where people like Bob Marley and the Wailers took, you know, Fredlocks, people like those, Little Roy, you know, you have artists like those who they stick to what their roots is in regards to reggae. Reggae is a tool that is used not just for Rastafari, but is in the Africanism.
That's
I
right.
would say
I was going to say to that, because reggae emphasized African identity and the opportunities for repatriation. And of course, also, of course, through the music, is the glorification and recognition of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I as a divine ruler. For example, Bob Marley's song, "Ja Live," you know? My gosh, when I got that song, oh my dear, I sung it 10,000 times, not 1,000, 10,000 times. Or the other song, "War," it's the other one, explicitly conveyed Rasta teachings. Absolutely.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying, because a lot of people, when they heard Bob Marley singing "Until the philosophy that holds one inferior to
Mm,
another," a lot of people would not know that that is the speech of Haile Selassie of the United Nations.
that's right. That's right.
So reggae music, like I said, is a tool. It's a
Yes.
tool
Yes.
that should be used wisely,
Absolutely right.
because
Wisely.
you have a
Mm,
knife. That knife could be destructive, and
mm-hmm.
it could be used for good. It can use to cut up your food, but yet it can be used to be destructive to one another. So
Yes.
we
Yeah.
have to use reggae music as a tool
Mm-hmm.
to uplift ourselves from
Yes.
who we are.
Well said, my sister. Well said. Well said. And there's some forms of so-called reggae which are very destructive. You know, this gangster business and foolishness. And
Mm,
I'm saying it loud. Gangster business and foolishness is
yeah,
destructive. Destructive. You see,
yeah,
reggae, as we recognize it, popularized Rastafari symbols like the
yes,
Lion of Judah, the red, gold, and green colors, the use of
hmm,
dreadlocks, yeah, as a spiritual expression of rebellion and devotion. Okay, that was the music. Yeah,
you
it
see,
influenced the ITEL living, you know, the word clean living, the
mhm.
vegan living, yeah, and promoting the Rasta principles of natural and pure lifestyle, the fine reflection in the culture surrounding reggae music. Yeah, you know,
It's
wowza.
when I look at reggae music, it starts off with the drum, the heartbeat. The
Yes.
drum is the heartbeat. And so when that is the reason why I say it's a tool where it can
hmm
uplift you. And
hmm
that is what reggae music is supposed to be there for.
Yes.
But
Yes.
from the beginning, reggae music was, say, a rebellious thing.
hmm
From the you go to the Catholic Church and hear their songs. You
hmm
know, you could never compare it
No.
to the heartbeat, the reggae music.
There you go. Rhythmic. The
So that's
drumming
how
patterns, I was going to say, the drumming patterns of Rasta Nyabingi, this is why Nyabingi was powerful to me,
the
order,
drum.
directly influence the percussive elements in reggae. Yeah?
Mhm.
Because if you listen to Nyabingi,
Yep. When you listen to people like what's his name, Ras Michael and the Sons of Negus, heartbeat.
you see, creating the characteristic rhythm.
Yes.
Connection between drumming and chanting and spirituality in Rasta is found ways into reggae. It means in both artistic expression and spiritual practice. The music has upheld our culture, our tradition, our spiritual health.
Mhm.
Praise be, praise be. That's the
You see,
power of the music. That's the power of the
it is.
music.
It is. It is.
Just so that the audience can fully appreciate, and so we have articulated the connection, our intertwined reggae music and Rastafari has always been, and therefore been
And
an integral
Africa.
part of Jamaica. Jamaica is a powerful, still a powerful in the psychology of most Jamaicans. Yeah, some might deny it, but actually it's a powerful
It is.
force within Jamaica. Go on, continue,
It
my
is.
sister. Mhm.
Yeah, so
So
that's what I'm saying. So when you listen to people like Ras Michael and the Sons of Negus, when you
mhm.
listen to those drumming, then you know that this is where you're supposed to be. It puts you in that meditation. It gives you that peace
Yes,
of mind. You
yes.
don't need no therapist if you live
No,
listening to the proper reggae music.
not
Use
right.
that as your therapy.
There you go.
When you
There you
listen
go.
to people like Peter Touch,
hmm
because I think he was the greatest of all the Wailers, you
Agreed.
know,
Agreed. Agreed.
when you listen to songs that he produced, you know that this man was a prophet himself. We're looking at, yes, Prophet God, um, Prophet Emmanuel, but the people with their music just the same. They came, they did their message. People like Garnet Silk, he came
hmm
and he gave us the message, and he's
hmm
gone. He did his work. His work,
Yes.
his like Hello Mama Africa and all those ones.
hmm
Sizzler, Capleton, they all have a message today.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that
Yes.
is how we have to look at reggae music, that it comes with a message. Use that message to
Yes.
uplift yourself. Not to listen to the ones where are telling you if you go do this and go do that, underrate women. Those are
hmm
not reggae music.
Agreed.
That
Agreed. Agreed.
wasn't the original reason for reggae. Reggae was there to help the oppressed, to uplift
That's
them.
right. That's right. Thank you. And that's well said. And its origins has been well recorded. It's well recorded. I see in the chat that at least one person who disputes any connection between reggae music and Rastafari, which is
Okay.
interesting.
Oh, wow.
It'd be interesting to reach out to that person, and we might have to engage in a debate. I'll share our evidence, and maybe
A
this
person
person
doesn't
will.
know their history then.
Well, it is well. It is well, and I don't need to call the names because they're in the chat, but we will interact. I will reach out to you there in the chat. I won't do it right now, obviously, but we'll reach out to you. But what I want to do now, my sister, because this has been a really useful canter through the history of Rastafari, and some key personalities, the traditions, and of course the various houses, mansions, to use the correct term. Okay,
Mansions.
and we've identified the commonality between the mansions and some of the variation between the various mansions. Of course, I know from experience that we've inspired others to want to make further inquiries and are considering how they can become rooted. Yep. Many in diaspora need to become rooted, so their roots are deep, so they can have a foundation upon which to have certainty, to have upon which their confidence can be founded, so they can move forward with determination. Yep. No, the roots of, so they want to contact members of Rastafari. Now, I have to tell you, this is something else. Yeah, this is something else. I have to say, it's an interesting one. This is an interesting one. I think what we need to do at this point is look at, and I have to question the leaders, particularly here in Britain. Okay, it'd be good for them, all the houses, to come together in common aim and common purpose. Have a strategic meeting, and if they are willing, I'd be happy to host such a meeting. Okay,
Right.
if they are willing, because I believe all the mansions of Rasta need to come together, so that there's a concord, an understanding what is in common, and appreciate appreciate the variation, the differences, but the common themes of common fundamentals remain intact, the same. Okay,
You
they
say
need to come together
in
to
my
pan-Africanism.
father's house, there are many mansions.
Praise Jah.
And
Praise Jah.
if they understand the meaning behind that, meaning that seven brothers, seven different minds. But that doesn't mean you should forget the roots of where you're coming from. So
Yeah.
yes, it would be good for all the mansions to come together. It would be good to have a directory for the mansions.
That's right. Yeah,
You
would be
know,
good.
that is the sort of thing that we should aim for. If someone said, "Oh, where can I find the Nyabingi?" Well, instead of having a personal telephone number for someone, you know, we should have that section where we say, "Okay, yes, this is a number for the sister such and such, who is the head," you know.
Yes.
And when you do get in touch, they do get back to you. That's the main thing.
That'd be nice as well. And let me say, I've attempted to do precisely that. And the only piece of information, and I'm grateful to you as well, that I can share with the audience are the members of the 12
Red Tribe.
tribes. Yeah. Okay.
There's a HQ
Let
in
me.
Manchester, one
I'm
in.
going to put it on the screen now. Let me see if I get on the screen. There you go. Can I get on the screen? Hold on. Let me just do this for you. Get this on the screen, and let's do that. There we go. And maximize this, shall we? There we go. There we go. Can you see it? Okay. Let me just stop that. Okay. It was on the screen. No, it's gone. Hey. Okay. I tried. Never mind. I may have to go back to that if I can get the right page up on the screen. Can I do this quickly? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, okay. Maybe not. Oh, there you are. Can you see it now? Can you see the screen?
Me can't see nothing. I may have on my glasses.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
All right then. All
Okay,
right.
there you
Yes.
are. She's complaining already. Can you imagine? There you go.
I
There
don't
you
see
are. There you go. So, the only one of the mansions I could identify, and I
Yeah.
asked, and I humbly request forgiveness for the others if I'm not able to identify right now. I do apologize to them, but I encourage them to put the details in the chat that relates to this podcast, okay? Their contact details, the address, telephone number and email address, and it's got a website on the chat for this podcast. But nevertheless, what I could find, my sister, is of course the 12th Tribe of Israel headquarters in Camshot Road in Streatham, London, and that's London SW16 5LQ, and another headquarters in Manchester. That's 32 Claremont Road in Manchester, M14 4TS. And I have a telephone number, and I've tested, it does actually work. And if in the UK, it's 07821 028 421. I can only hope that members of the 12th Tribe, if they are contacts, that they actually respond. Okay, I'll take it off screen now. Okay, let's hope that they do so. The whole purpose of this podcast, of course, is to raise consciousness, raise awareness, share information with the people so they're aware of the fact, the details, untainted by other people's filters, and for them to hear from inspired Rasta people. You, my sister, and you, my sister, are an example of a true-born Rasta woman. You've adhered to the principles. You understand why it's important. You are confident, stronger for that experience, and for that, I say unto you, praise Jah, Rastafari.
Blessed love.
Praise Jah.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask you to give us a quote or say something inspirational so that both young and old can remember you by. What would you share with us?
Oh, what should I say? What should I say? No man is an island.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's who I'll leave it with. No man is an
Whoa.
island.
Oh,
So we have
go on.
yeah. So we need to come together as, if you look at your hand,
Mhm,
it's 5 fingers like that. But when you put it like that,
mhm,
it's a fist. That's unity. You can mash up somebody with that. So this is a unity. So, 5 all apart. As a fist, you can do wonders. Unity. No man is an island.
Praise Jah. Okay. Wow. I honor and respect you, and
Thank you.
I've got to say, just listening to you today has given me such encouragement. Such encouragement. And what I wanted to do before you leave, but for some reason I can't right now, is to utter those words in ways that is memorable. And what I mean by that, what you've identified is why this particular
Imperial
form,
Majesty.
I'm sorry, this particular religious format, okay, has grown. Okay, I know members of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tahido Church would, of course, say that as we look to Ethiopia, we should be fully incorporated within that church. And I don't disagree with them. But I am prepared to say, though, that if we are to move forward, we've got to respect each other. Got to respect each
But
other.
I still refuse to see Rastafari as a religion.
Okay.
It's a
I'm not
way
going to disagree with you.
life.
It's a way
It's
of
a
life.
way of life.
It's a way of life.
When
Okay.
when you take on that livity, it's who you become. It's
Yes.
not a religion.
Mhm.
I still
Okay.
pray to my ancestors.
Yes.
Yeah, I pour my libation, but
Mhm.
still I am living that way in regards to I am in this world but not of this world. You can
Yes.
see me and you know that I'm a Rastafari woman.
You've
Yeah.
achieved a higher consciousness. I hear you. You've achieved that higher consciousness.
Sorry, my grandson just walking.
It's all right. It's good.
Huh?
We need the children. We need the
I'm on the
children.
phone.
We need the children. The children are good. We love the children. Don't worry. Let them come. Let them be heard. Yeah, let them be heard.
My baby.
My sisterin, thank you. I wish
Blessed
you
love.
well.
Blessed love.
May Jah watch over you always. Long
Aye,
may
aye.
you prosper.
Thank you so much. And thanks
Praise
for having me.
Jah, Rastafari.
Blessed love.
Praise Jah, Rastafari. Praise Jah, Rastafari.
Aye, aye.
There you
All right.
go.
Thank you
That's
so
what I
much.
wanted to hear. Praise Jah. Thank you.
All right. Give thanks. Blessed love.
Blessed
Aye.
love. Blessed love.
Thank
Aye,
you.
aye, aye.
Bye.
Wow, people, wasn't that something, huh? Wasn't that something? An example of what is possible with clarity, determination, and forthrightness, okay? We're clear that regardless of the both physical, emotional, spiritual pressure, we are stronger and we can excel, ascend above it. Rastafari is an example of the resilience of African peoples, particularly here in the diaspora. Long may it continue so. And forgive me, it will continue so. There is no doubt. It will continue so. Wow, there you are, there you are. I hope you found that to be a truly inspirational experience. It provided insight, genuine intellectual, spiritual insights into the workings of African peoples in the Caribbean, the Americas, here in Europe. Okay, in order to ensure that we are fully grounded, remain and retain that sense of self, regardless of all the nonsense that's around us, that attempts to deny us of our true identities. Oh yeah, that determination runs well, deep, and it's very much alive today. You may not say you're Rasta, you may not say you're Pan-Africanist, but your practice says otherwise. It is well, it is well, it is well. So this has been a truly inspirational experience, and I love the chat. Okay, and I will reach out to some of you in the chat, maybe after the show. Okay, and I want to have that dialogue, because dialogue is good. If we're talking to each other, then it's good. We recognize what we have in common. Okay, there's always going to be some variation, don't worry. But what we have in common must outweigh what is different. There you are. That is said. That is said. So that concludes this podcast. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to play a part of the intro video, which I was alluding to earlier on. And those of you who missed the intro video, it contains the information in this interview and more. It should be required watching. I urge you to do so. I urge you to do so. I urge you to do so. So, if in doubt, I remain. I am the motivator. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, God Emperor of Ethiopia and Rastafari. Ethiopianism was a religious and political movement practiced by sub-Saharan Africans during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, representing early efforts toward autonomy from colonial rule. It emerged as African Christians sought to establish independent churches, free from European missionary control, to affirm their cultural identity and resist racial discrimination. The movement drew inspiration from biblical references to Ethiopia, particularly in Psalm 68 verse 31. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God. This verse symbolized a vision of African unity and self-governance, fostering a sense of pride and destiny amongst African communities worldwide. Edward Wilmot Blyden, born 1832, passed 1912. He was born on St. Thomas, a Caribbean island. His parents claimed descent from the Igbo people of present-day Nigeria. He is associated with Ethiopianism due to his promotion of African pride, cultural preservation, and self-determination. Ethiopianism which viewed Ethiopia as a symbol for Africa's dignity and resilience based on biblical references, aligned with blind advocacy for Africans to develop their own institutions and celebrate their unique identity. Its ideas influenced prominent Pan-African leaders like Marcus Garvey, George Padmore, and Kwame Nkrumah, solidifying his place in history. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, God Emperor of Ethiopia and Rastafari. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia on November 2nd, 1930, at the Cathedral of St. George in Addis Ababa. The coronation was a traditional Hebraic Christian ceremony. His Majesty Haile Selassie I was born Tafari Makonnen. He took the name of Haile Selassie I, which means power of the Trinity. The ceremony included an ivory and gold scepter, a gold globe, a diamond ring, and 2 traditional lances. The ceremony was attended by royals and political leaders and representatives from around the world, including Britain, Belgium, France, United States, Egypt, Turkey, Sweden, and Japan. And he said, "We Africans will fight. If necessary, we will know that we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil." Praise God. Ancient African monarch meets recent British royals. The tradition is, and protocol requires, that the British royals will bow. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie's family lineage is believed to extend across several centuries, tracing its roots to the Solomonic dynasty, from the union of King Solomon of Israel and the Queen of Sheba. This lineage is central to the Ethiopian history and Rastafarian beliefs. The Solomonic dynasty's origins are traditionally dated to around 970 before the Christian era, with Menelik I, the son of Solomon, and the Queen of Sheba, regarded as its founder. The dynasty intimately ruled Ethiopia for nearly 3,000 years from its inception. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie confirms direct descent from this lineage, asserting continuity with the Solomonic traditions. His family history spans nearly 30 centuries, approximately 3,000 years. Marcus Garvey was born on August 17, 1887 in St. Anne's Bay, a town located in north coast of Jamaica. Garvey founded the UNIA in 1914 in Jamaica, which became the largest global organization promoting Pan-African ideals. The UNIA aimed to unite Africans worldwide and advocated for economic independence, self-determination, and the establishment of a unified Africa. In 1919, Garvey launched the Black Star Line, a shipping company designed to facilitate trade and transportation between Africa and the African diaspora. Although the company faced financial and operational challenges, it symbolized Garvey's commitment to Africa's economic empowerment. Garvey used biblical references to Ethiopia and Africa as symbols of resilience and redemption for black peoples. His emphasis on Ethiopia resonated with Ethiopianism and reinforced the vision of a free and united Africa. Garvey organized international UNIA conventions, such as the 1920 convention in New York, where the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World was adopted. The document outlined the aspiration and racial equality and self-determination that African independence represented. Marcus Garvey was born on August 17, 1887 in St. Anne's Bay, a town located in north coast of Jamaica. Garvey founded the UNIA in 1914 in Jamaica, which became the largest global organization promoting Pan-African ideals. The UNIA aimed to unite African worldwide and advocated for economic independence, self-determination, and the establishment of a unified Africa. In 1919, Garvey launched the Black Star Line, a shipping company designed to facilitate trade and transportation between Africa and the African diaspora. Although the company faced financial and operational challenges, it symbolized Garvey's commitment to Africa's economic empowerment. Garvey used biblical references to Ethiopia and Africa as symbols of resilience and redemption for black peoples. His emphasis on Ethiopia resonated with Ethiopianisms and reinforced the vision of a free and united Africa. Garvey organized international UNIA conventions, such as the 1920 convention in New York, where the Declaration of the Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World was adopted. The document outlined the aspirations and racial equality and self-determination that African independence represented. Leonard Percival Howe was born in the parish of Clarendon in Jamaica on June the 16th, 1898. He died in Kingston, Jamaica in 1981. He was born a hero, a scholar, and beyond the shadow of doubt, died a hero, defending his community. His notable achievements include the first Rasta. Howe is considered a pioneer figure in the Rastafari movement. After returning to Jamaica in 1932, he began preaching about the divinity of Emperor Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia, identifying him as the Messiah. In 1935, Howe published The Promised Key, a seminal document outlining the movement's principles. He also established in Jamaica the Pinnacle Community, which became a central hub for Rastafari at that time. The word Rastafari has both a literal and symbolic meaning, deeply rooted in Ethiopian and Rastafarian history. A literal meaning, Ras, a title in Aramaic, Ethiopian language, meaning chief, prince, or head. Tafari, the pre-regnal name of Haile Selassie I, who was born of Tafari Makonnen. Rastafari literally translates to Prince Tafari or Chief Tafari in Aramaic. This name was used before His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie ascended to the Ethiopian throne in 1930. And he took his original name, which means power of the Trinity. The Rastafari movement comprised several mansions or branches, each with its own unique symbols and practices. The three primary mansions are the Naibingi order, the Bobo Shanti, and the 12 tribes of Israel. Rastafarian liberty, the central principle of Rasta life. Perhaps no Rastafarian idea is more important to the lives of ordinary Rastas than liberty. This term, created by the earliest Rastas, encompasses the central cultural practices of Rastafari. Rastas view their culture as more than merely a religious identity. It is a way of life. Liberty is central to Rastas' communal and personal beliefs. Rastafarian liberty, the central principles of Rasta life. A committed Rasta strives to maintain and strengthen their liberty through ritual practices and self-reflection, including certain types of music, meditation, and ganja smoking. Liberty also involves following a diet similar to kosher in Judaism, but there are significant differences. Rastas don't eat pork, and most do not eat meat. A vegetarian or vegan diet known as ital to Rastas is the standard. Rastas prefer to cultivate their food naturally, locally, without added preservatives. Similarly, alcohol, coffee, and drugs other than ganja are culturally forbidden practices of Rastafari. Rastas view their culture as more than merely a religious identity. It is a way of life. Liberty is central to Rastas' communal and personal beliefs. Nyabingi Mansion. The Nyabingi order is considered one of the oldest branches of Rastafari. The Nyabingi order is named after Queen Nyabingi, who ruled Uganda in the 19th century. Its symbols include the Lion of Judah, representing strength and the lineage of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, and the colours red, gold and green, reflecting the Ethiopian flag and Pan-Africanism. Nyabingi theology centers on the divinity of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I. Its followers regard him as the manifestation of God, Jah, on earth, and the fulfilment of biblical prophecy. Such titles as the King of Kings and the Lion of the tribe of Judah emphasize its divine role, derived from scriptures like Revelation chapter 5 verse 5 and chapter 19 verse 16. They also reject Babylon, representing oppressive systems like colonialism, materialism and capitalism, and call for a spiritual resistance. A strong emphasis is placed on Pan-Africanism and the belief that Africa is Zion, the spiritual and physical homeland for the African diaspora, advocating for the restoration of African dignity, heritage, and self-reliance. Spiritual practices such as the reasoning session, where members discuss spiritual and social issues, and Nyabingi drumming and chanting ceremonies are central to the theology. These sacred rituals aim to invoke divine presence and resist oppression. The Nyabingi lifestyle or liberty promotes living in harmony with nature, maintaining a vegetarian or ital diet, avoiding materialism. With its roots in African resistance movements, Nyabingi theology views prayer, drumming, and unity as powerful tools against injustice, encouraging collaboration amongst Rastafarians and African peoples worldwide. Its scriptural foundation draws heavily from the Bible, emphasizing the closeness of the black race as descendants of Israel. 12 Tribe of Israel Mansions. The 12 Tribes of Israel is one of the prominent mansions of Rastafari. Was founded by Prophet Gad in 1968 in Kingston, Jamaica. Carrington envisaged the 12 Tribe as a way to organize the Rasta faith and make it more accessible to a broader audience. He emphasized studying the Bible, particularly the King James Version, and encouraged members to read it from Genesis to Revelation for spiritual understanding. 12 Tribes of Israel Mansion. The movement is organized around the 12 sons of Jacob from the Bible, with members assigned to a tribe based on their birth month. Unlike other Rastafari mansions, the 12 tribes are known for being more inclusive, welcoming people of all races and backgrounds. They stress the divinity of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, as well as the teachings of Jesus Christ, blending Rastafari and Christian principles. The Bob Ashanti Mansion is one of the prominent mansions of Rastafari. Was founded by Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards in 1958 in Jamaica. He is often referred to as Prince Emmanuel, the Black Christ in flesh, or Priest King Emmanuel by his followers. Prince Emmanuel is regarded by the Bob Ashanti as part of the Holy Trinity, alongside His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I and Marcus Garvey. He is seen as a prophet and the reincarnation of Christ in flesh. He established the Bob Ashanti as a spiritual and political movement, emphasizing self-reliance, African redemption, and moral living. Key beliefs and practices of the Bob Ashanti Mansion. The Bob Ashanti uphold strict discipline and adhere to a priestly lifestyle. They often wear turbans and long robes to signify holiness and separation from Babylon. They emphasize daily prayer, fasting, and living according to the commandments of Jah, or God. Their community operates like a theocracy, with Emmanuel seen as their spiritual leader, and they stress the importance of repatriation to Africa. The Bob Ashanti Mansion remains influential within Rastafari for its unique practices, rigid discipline, and devotion to African liberation and spiritual principles. Reggae music. Reggae is a style of popular music originating in Jamaica with a strong accented beat. Reggae evolved in the late 1960s from ska and other local variations on calypso and rhythms and blues, and became widely known in the 1970s through the work of Bob Marley. Its lyrics are heavily influenced by Rastafari ideas. The Rastafari movement profoundly influenced reggae music, shaping its themes, aesthetics, and cultural significance. Reggae became a powerful vehicle for expressing Rastafari ideals and spreading its message globally. Reggae music. Reggae lyrics frequently reflect Rastafari beliefs, addressing topics such as spirituality, oppression, and liberation. The concept of resisting Babylon, symbolizing colonialism and systematic oppression, is a recurring motif. The music emphasizes African identity, repatriation, and the glorification of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie as a divine ruler. For example, Bob Marley, Jah Live, and War explicitly convey Rastafari teachings. Reggae music. Reggae popularized Rastafari symbols like the Lion of Judah, red, gold, and green colors, and the use of dreadlocks as a spiritual expression of rebellion and devotion. The influence of Ital living, a Rastafari principle promoting natural and pure lifestyle, also finds reflection in the culture surrounding reggae music. Reggae music. The drumming patterns of Rastafari's Naibingi order directly influence the percussive elements in reggae, creating its characteristic rhythm and beat. The connection between drumming, chanting, and spirituality in Rastafari found its way into reggae as a means of both artistic expression and spiritual practice. To contact the 12 Tribes of Israel headquarters in Britain, it's 10 Kemshot Road, Streatham, London, SW165LQ, or indeed in Manchester, and that is 32 Claremont Road, Manchester, M14 4TS. Telephone number, it's 07 821 028 421. Praise Jah, Rastafari. Praise Jah, Rastafari. Praise Jah, Rastafari.